What is up, everybody? Welcome to That Wannabe Film Class, the show where we love movies. So each month we choose a theme and our members bring one movie that fits the theme for us to talk about. Maybe it's a movie they love. Maybe it's a movie they've been dying to see. Maybe it's a movie they just find interesting. Today, though, I'm lying. I think I said that last time, too. I did. But today I'm lying for a different reason. Because this movie doesn't fit a theme. We said fuck themes. Because normally we have 4 weeks or out of every month. But this month we have 5 weeks. So our 5th week is whatever the hell we want it to be. And we are talking about an iconic film in the legacy of my co-host. Now, before I get to that, though, I'm Ben Bellevue, and I'm joined by my co-host, the villain vixen, the supervillain seducer, the Decepticon damsel, but she ain't in distress. It is Chloe Naylor.
I love that. Hi, everybody. Amazing.
Finding a D word that worked was hard. Because I thought of damsel, and I was like, that's offensive. And I thought of dame, and I was like, that's not that much better. And I thought of Hercules, and I was like, I'm a damsel. I'm in distress. I got this.
It's all good.
Chloe, this episode has no theme, as I've said. We've thrown themes out. We've said fuck it to cohesive flow, to the connective tissue through which we traditionally view our filmic text, to the fundamental idea of viewing movies as pieces of a larger theoretical whole. Today, it's the end of April. We'll be stuck in our homes until who knows when. Nothing matters. And we are talking about a fucking Transformers movie.
Yeah, we are. Happy early birthday to me.
Happy early birthday to you. Chloe, what Transformers movie are we talking about specifically?
We are talking about my all-time favorite one, Dark of the Moon.
Which is also one of your all-time favorite movies, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Someone says, what's your favorite movie? I'm like, Transformers. And I'm not lying.
And they're like, which one? And you're like, Transformers 3. And they're like, really?
Yeah. And I'm like, have you seen it recently?
How often do you get that reaction?
Oh, God. All the time. It depends on who I'm talking to. I'll pick maybe one of my other Letterboxd top 4.
Yeah.
Like, oh.
We were talking about this a bit briefly before, but... Yeah. For audiences, what are your top 4 movies on Letterboxd?
My top 4 on Letterboxd is this one, Transformers Dark of the Moon. I have Prisoners with Jake Gyllenhaal. I have Arrival and Gone Girl.
Which is also something I said earlier, but like so interesting. Because I feel like you have this like kind of like dark, kind of fucked up, kind of slow style of movie taste.
Yeah.
With Arrival, especially with Gone Girl. With, I'm assuming, Prisoners, I haven't seen it, but just based off of, like, knowing Denis Villeneuve's style and also based off the fact that, like, I've seen frames from it and it looks like that aesthetic, I feel like you kind of go for the dark, fucked up movie.
Oh, absolutely.
Generally.
Yeah.
But then you come in with the 4th one and you're like, Transformers 3, Bayhem, all about it.
It's the darkest one out of them, I think. So, sure, it fits.
That's fair. Yeah. It gets heavy sometimes.
It does. It's fucked up sometimes.
It really does.
It's really great.
So, Chloe, I feel weird asking you this question because, like, normally I'm like, oh, what's your impression before watching the movie? I assume you've seen this movie so many times that you have no impression that a rewatch is going to change.
I know. I didn't even, I got to, I started a little bit late today. I wanted to watch it earlier, but I needed to drive my mom around, But, I can still recap this movie frame by frame without even actually watching it. I just skip to my favorite parts, basically, and, oh, okay, what happened? Let me scroll through and see what scenes I missed, write that down, because I know what happens. I love this movie.
I love that.
Yes.
It's fantastic.
Yes.
So we're going to dive into the meat of this as quickly as we can, because A, there's a whole lot of this movie. 2.5 hours long, and a lot happens in that 2.5 hours. But also because this movie, of course, directed by Michael Bay, someone we've talked about for the first time, I think, a returning director to our little show
and
here.
And it's Michael Bay.
And it's Michael Bay. I mean, he does have 2 movies in the Criterion collection. So
yeah.
There's some respect on that name.
Sure.
As I said, it's directed by Michael Bay. He is the director of movies including Armageddon, which we already talked about. If people want to know the whole history of Michael Bay's backstory, go listen to the Armageddon episode. We talk about it. I'm not going to dive into it again. That'll be tedious for everyone involved, including myself. But he started directing commercials and music videos, went into directing movies. He did the Bad Boys 1 and 2 movies. He did The Rock. He did 5 Transformers movies. Most recently, he did 6 Underground on Netflix, which I hear is mediocre.
Sounds about right.
This movie is written by Aaron Kruger, who wrote the Ring adaptation.
Mm-hmm.
He also wrote Screams 3 and 4, and he wrote Transformers 2 through 4. So he got in when it was terrible and got out when it was getting worse again.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. To be fair, when he came in, I'm assuming when he came in on Transformers 2, because I know Transformers 2 was being written during the writer's strike.
Mm-hmm.
So if I remember correctly, Michael Bay was the one writing it until the writer's strike ended. And I'm assuming if he's still working in Hollywood that Aaron Kruger didn't break the picket line to write for the movie. So I'm assuming that he didn't probably have that much time to do any fixes to Transformers 2.
Makes sense.
Yeah. And that's what Michael Bay always chalks Transformers 2 being bad up to, is like,
The writer's strike.
I was writing this, guys. I didn't.
Fair. I get it. Okay.
Writer's strike.
Yeah, sure.
Writer's strike did ruin a lot of
That's-
things. It also saved Breaking Bad.
Interesting.
There was an interview with Vince Gilligan, creator of Breaking Bad, where he's like, yeah, I didn't know what I was doing in season 1. So I was going to end it on a much like darker, like Walt's really fallen note. And then the writer's strike happened. I couldn't finish season 1. And by the time season 2 rolled around, I was like, maybe I shouldn't do this. And I should like actually let this play out over a longer period of time.
Shout out. You win some, you lose some.
Yeah, exactly. The cast of this movie is massive, partially because you have the humans and you have the Transformers, of course. You have Shia LaBeouf as Sam Witwicky, known for his starring role in Even Stevens on Disney Channel, for being in Holes, a very underrated movie, I feel like. Like, I feel like we talked about that movie a lot when we were kids, and now it's kind of just been forgotten.
Terrible. So good.
So good. He then kind of went crazy after the Transformers franchise, a little bit. Did a lot of performance art, went to rehab a couple times. Recently, making a comeback with Peanut Butter Falcon and Honey Boy coming out last year. I've not seen Honey Boy, but it's written by him, partially based on his life. He plays his dad. And Peanut Butter Falcon is very cute.
You need to see both of those.
And he's going to be in the next Olivia Wilde movie.
I heard about that.
That she directs. Yeah. With Florence Pugh and Chris Pine.
What a
which
lineup,
is
man.
Very attractive pairing. We have Josh Duhamel as Colonel Lennox. Josh Duhamel, most known outside of this for the TV show Las Vegas, which I watched all of because it aired on TNT in the middle of the day, and Netflix didn't exist yet. So I saw that show, wasn't good.
Nice.
Didn't enjoy it, but it was on.
I was there.
And Love, Simon, where I think he was quite good in Love, Simon. I don't know if you saw that movie.
I didn't, actually.
I enjoyed his performance in that.
Okay.
Yeah, he plays the main character's dad. And frankly, I think that was his best role.
Okay.
He plays a pretty good dad.
Nice.
We have John Turturro as Seymour Simmons. He got his start, or his mainstream start at least, in Do the Right Thing. He frequently works with the Coen brothers, with Adam Sandler, and with Spike Lee. And he's playing Carmine Falcone in the new Batman movie.
Interesting.
We have Tyrese Gibson. Now, here's the thing I love about Tyrese Gibson's character. On Wikipedia, all the other characters are listed, and they're like, oh, like Sam Witwicky, or like, oh, Colonel Lennox. Tyrese Gibson's character is listed as retired USAF Chief Master Sergeant Robert Epps.
I know. Just say
It's absurd.
It's very, yes.
Why?
Just go all in.
Tyrese got his start as a musician. He then moved on to movies with a breakthrough role in John Singleton's Baby Boy. He's most well known now for Transformers, obviously, and the Fast and Furious franchise. And he's also going to be in the new Morbius movie.
Oh, yeah, that's a thing.
Are you excited for Morbius as a Venom fan?
No. I'm honestly not really super excited for like any Marvel thing anymore.
Interesting.
No.
Except Venom 2.
Of course, except for that. Because Venom's hot. Yeah. But like Endgame is just like, okay, I like that. And then there's more. Like,
yeah, Endgame was a nice little close. Yeah. Are you excited for Moon Knight still?
Oh, yeah, that's still happening. Yeah, of course.
I feel like I'm excited for the TV shows.
Yes.
Or maybe not excited. Excited might not be the right word.
Well, like I'm excited for like Moon Knight
in the TV shows.
And Loki, of course, because of like my Marvel men. But like everything else.
But like overall
you know, like
I'm surprisingly excited for Doctor Strange now because of Sam Raimi, but that's like that's nothing to do with Marvel. It's just to do with Sam Raimi making a superhero movie. It could have been a standalone superhero movie, and I would have been like, yes. True.
They should have saved Civil War for after like Thanos.
They really should have. Civil War, they played that card too soon.
Way too soon.
Way too soon. And also for okay movie. This is my hot take of the day. Civil War, it's fine.
That's fair. I haven't seen it in a while, but I agree with that.
I like parts of it. I think it's the best Tom Holland has ever been as Spider-Man. I think it was all downhill after that movie.
Okay.
I'm coming out here with the hot takes. I don't have any
Spider-Man. The hot takes. Spider-Man takes. I'm waiting for another surge in Spider-Man takes on Twitter because I won my drafts. It's not very hot, but it's the only one I have.
Do you want to tease it to the audience?
It's just about which one I think is the hottest.
Okay. It's Andrew Garfield.
Duh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like my hot take is that he's the hottest.
Yeah, Andrew Garfield is
so
the hottest.
I'm waiting for everybody to tear their throats out. Everyone, Tobey Maguire is the best one. Tom Holland. And I'm like, Andrew Garfield's hot.
Andrew Garfield is hot. Did you ever see the video of him at Comic-Con?
Where he was like in the really poorly made Spider-Man costume? Yeah. It's
adorable. I love that.
It's, yeah.
The good old days.
Oh, man.
We have Rosie Huntington-Whiteley, or Whitley, I don't know how to pronounce her name, as Carly Spencer. Fun fact about Carly Spencer, the character. In the canon of Transformers, the animated show canon, you might know this. Her character is Carly Witwicky, which is the only human character in this franchise, in like this Transformers Michael Bay franchise, to have her own Wikipedia page, which is how I found this out. Because I was like scrolling through the characters and I was like, why is her character someone I can click on, but no one else's is? And I clicked on it and they're like Carly Witwicky. And I was like, what? So I don't think Sam doesn't really have an analog from what I can tell in the shows or in like the animated versions of this. So it's not that she's like inherently married to Sam, or I don't think there's really like that much of a one-to-one comparison between the two characters, except for just like they're both blonde and named Carly. But she is Carly Witwicky in the Transformers animated show, or some Transformers animated thing. Yeah. The more you know.
Huh. Okay. I didn't even click on that before. I didn't even realize. Whack.
We also... she got her start, of course, as a model. She was a Victoria's Secret angel for a while, which is, I'm assuming, where Michael Bay met her, because he shoots the Victoria's Secret commercials a lot. Makes
sense.
Yeah. You can also tell he does that. I don't know if did you know Michael Bay shot a lot of the Victoria's Secret commercials?
Not until about 3 seconds ago.
Cool. I feel like you can totally tell, though, because especially the scene when you meet Carly and she's like walking up to Sam in the bed, that is straight up the exact same cinematography.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
God, Michael Bay has no layers. He is one type.
Oh, I know.
He's just there. She also, her only other movie role besides this is in Mad Max Fury Road, another movie we talked about.
Shout out.
She's also married to Jason Statham.
She sure is.
Mm-hmm.
That's a hot couple. That
is a hot couple. Speaking of hot people, we have Patrick Dempsey as Dylan Gold.
Dreamy.
Patrick Dempsey is a fellow Maine born person. I said that very awkwardly, but he and I are both born in Maine. Shout out. Nice. He got his name big on Grey's Anatomy, the TV show, where he was there for a very long time because that show does not seem to end. He also is known for Enchanted, Maid of Honor, Bridget Jones' Diary, or Bridget Jones' Baby, I think. I wrote down Bridget Jones, and I know it's not one of them, but I also don't know those movies well enough to know which one it was and which one it was not. He was in a Bridget Jones movie. Don't know which one.
Okay.
And Sweet Home Alabama with Reese Witherspoon.
Okay.
He also races cars, a detail that translates into this movie. Was that why he was cast? Perhaps.
Possibly.
We have Kevin Dunn as Ron Witwicky. He has a starring role, main role, I guess, on Veep. And he was in True Detective Season 1. The only good True Detective season. That's not true. True Detective Season 3 might be good. I haven't seen it, but it does have Mahershala Ali, and he's great. Anyway, we have Julie White as Judy Witwicky. She's known for Grace Under Fire. We have John Malkovich as Bruce Brazos, the boss of Sam in this movie. He is known for many things, including Places in the Heart and In the Line of Fire, but I know him best from being John Malkovich, not because I've seen the movie Being John Malkovich, just because I know of the movie Being John Malkovich. And the fact that the movie exists called Being John Malkovich is fucking hilarious.
It really is.
Sometimes Hollywood makes good things. Rarely,
Sometimes.
But it happens.
It happens.
We have Frances McDormand as Charlotte Meering. She's known for many things, including Fargo, Almost Famous, 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri, Raising Arizona, and Hail Caesar. Fun fact, a friend of mine gave her Oscar on stage when she won it.
Oh.
She shook his hand. Yeah.
Nice.
And I was at an Oscars watch party, and my friends and I were sitting there, and it was like on the screen, and she goes away, and like a lot of times you don't see the person who gives the celebrity their Oscar, but she like went and shook his hand, and it panned over to show that. And we were all like, that's fucking Keyshawn.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Fun day for us.
Oh my god. Nice.
We have Peter Cullen as Optimus Prime.
Woo!
Chloe, do you know what else he is voiced?
I do. Not right now, though.
The only one that I have noted of like significance, to me at least, is Eeyore.
Mm. That's it.
Which
That's
makes him the
of.
second
Yeah.
Eeyore voice on the podcast. Because in music and lyrics, we also had the agent who was a voice of Eeyore.
Oh my god, you're right.
Yeah, I know.
Interesting.
We have Hugo Weaving as Megatron. He is, of course, many things. Agent Smith in The Matrix, Elrond in Lord of the Rings. He's Red Skull in Captain America, The First Avenger. And what I remember him most for some fucking reason, he's Sinestro in Green Lantern.
Oh man, the really bad one. Oh no.
He was good in it though. I think that's why I remember it, because I remember watching that movie and being like, man, you were wasted on this.
He was the best part of that movie. Yes.
He was.
Side note about, because I forgot to bring this up on that episode. Same month, Treasure Planet. He was not credited in the cast, but Peter Cullen played Captain Flint in Treasure Planet.
Interesting.
He really only kind of like screams in the flashbacks, but
I remember they
Cullen.
had a guy. I remember when I was doing the research for that, they were like, oh, this person's Captain Flynn. And I was like, oh, that's interesting, but there's so little sound from this person that it's not worth mentioning.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all come back around.
It's all coming back around. Everything's connected.
You really have one type.
I really have one
They
type.
also both start with TR.
You're right.
I know.
Whoa. The Venn diagram of things I like is a circle.
Transformers Dark of the Moon and Treasure Planet both involve the hunt for a planet, kind of.
Yeah.
Yep. Hugo Weaving's niece is also Samara Weaving, best known for her starring role in Ready or Not, a very, very good horror movie from last year.
Shout out.
Yeah.
Huh. I didn't know they related.
We
That's cool.
have Leonard Nimoy as Sentinel Prime.
Shout out.
Best known, of course, as Spock. He was also in The Page Master, a movie with Macaulay Culkin. He was King Kashyyykim in Atlantis, The Lost Empire. And he directed Three Men and a Baby.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. He's also done other things, but like those are the notable stuff. Finally, we have Tom Kenny as Wheelie.
Yeah.
Which I did not know, but once I found out it was the voice of SpongeBob, I could not unhear that the entire time.
It's just SpongeBob saying fuck, pretty much. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
We also have Alan Tudyk, Ken Jeong, Buzz Aldrin, Andy Daly, and many more throughout the movie. Also, this was the first film not to be co-produced by DreamWorks in the Transformers series.
Interesting.
Don't know what happened there, but DreamWorks are just like, we're out. Paramount, it's up to you now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Now, that is the crew involved with all this. Chloe, before I have you dive into Transformers Dark of the Moon, I have a special request for you. Can you...
Okay.
We're talking about the third movie in a big franchise. Can you give us a quick catch up on what's happened so far?
Okay. Transformers 1. Autobots land on Earth. They're looking for the Allspark. The only person that knows where that is Sam Witwicky. Why I have a stroke saying his name, Witwicky. Shia LaBeouf. Because he has his grandfather's glasses, who saw Megatron frozen in the ice, and the Cybertronian coordinates were just engraved into his glasses somehow. So Autobots look for Sam. They get the glasses from him. Science, you know? They keep the Allspark in the Hoover Dam just to hide its energy source, right? Shenanigans ensue. They kill Megatron by pushing the Allspark into his chest, dump the Decepticons into the ocean. Autobots are like, we're gonna hang around a while. Cool. Second movie rolls around. Autobots are still here. Humans aren't really happy about it, though. And now the Fallen is a thing. Megatron's superior. He's vibing. He can't really come back until all the Primes are dead, because the only person that can kill him is a Prime. Fucking God, that movie is such a mess. How do I put this together cohesively? Decepticons bring Megatron back. We God, Sam goes to college. He meets his roommate who's just the same person. I don't know why we have two racist Transformer twins. Why we needed them, I don't know. We all have to go to Egypt to find the matrix of leadership. Because at some point Megatron killed Optimus, which is the only good part of the movie, is that forest battle. Yeah.
That forest fight is very
Matrix of
good.
leadership. It's the only good part of that movie. Matrix of leadership is in Egypt. They go to Egypt to get that. They bring Optimus back to life. But the Fallen is there. Optimus rips his face off. They have like a sun destroyer in one of the pyramids, so one of the pyramids gets destroyed. We save the day. Half of Megatron's face gets blown up. Fallen dies. Decepticons retreat. And we're just vibing.
Nice.
Movies into this movie.
And now we're here. So what happens?
We're here. Gosh. So we, of course, start with an opening narration from my dad himself, Optimus Prime, talking about the war on Cybertron, and we see it. Yeah, it's not as cool as the opening scene on Cybertron and Bumblebee, but it's still cool nonetheless.
It's still pretty good.
Cybertron.
And like Optimus Prime, like Optimus Prime's voice is one of the best things, if not the best thing, in all of these movies.
100%. He's the
so
best.
Good.
It's so good. So, on Cybertron, there was an Autobot ship carrying a cargo that would have won them the war, but the ship was shot down and seemingly lost to space. That is, until it crash lands on our moon. Uh-oh, Spaghetti-O, that's the catalyst for the space race and why we had to get to the moon before the Russians.
So I have a question for you, because you've seen all of these, right? You've seen the fifth one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I haven't.
Okay.
So, as these movies progress, are they just leaning more and more into rewriting human history? Because like the first one, they're like, the Hoover Dam. That's not what you thought it was for. It's like, okay, sure. Mm-hmm. This one, they're like, the moon landing. Not what you thought it was. And then like the fifth one, they're like, so King Arthur. Not what you thought it was, right?
Pretty much. Yeah, first one.
Fascinated by the decisions made in these movies.
So interesting. First one, Hoover Dam. Second one, Egyptians. This one, moon landing. Fourth one, I think we're okay. Yeah,
the fourth one, they're just like, it's fine. We have the guy trying to bang a 17-year-old. We don't need more.
He's got the statue in his wallet. It's fine. God. Anyways.
I'd be so much less creeped out if he didn't have it in his wallet.
I know. Why do you have that, my guy? Listen, that's why he's the bad boyfriend in Midsummer.
Like, try arresting you, and if you don't pull it out, they'll be like...
Oh,
and also, if you do pull it out, do you think you're going to pull out this clip out of a constitutional law or whatever law it is, and they'll look at it and go, this is clearly a binding, like, accurate document. This definitely couldn't be printed out and laminated by anybody. So we have to not arrest you now.
Of course. Again, bad boyfriend in Midsummer. It all makes sense.
It's true. He is great in Sing Street, though.
Oh, yeah, he's there, too. Okay. Yeah. Anyways, off goes Apollo 11 to investigate the dark side of the moon and confirm the existence of aliens. And then aside from the aliens part, the mission goes as we've seen it. We see the celebrations and hear Nixon's speech as we zoom back onto the ship and through Sentinel's eye and see the title screen. And we cut directly into Rosie HuntingtonWhiteley's ass as she goes to wake up our hero, Sam Witwicky.
Yeah.
That's a choice that was made.
There was a lot of moments throughout this movie, and I have noted them a couple times, but not completely, where a character would say something or cinematography would shoot someone a certain way, usually Rosie.
Yeah.
And it would just be like, haha, women are objects. Obviously, I'm not saying that's true, but like that's the implication this movie is heavily implying all the time.
Oh, yeah. That they're just objects. There's nothing more to it.
There's a really interesting series. I think you've seen it by Lindsay Ellis called The Whole Plate. And one of them is basically about how Michaela also, this movie so desperately needs Michaela.
It really did. It feels weird having just recasting Megan Fox and having like, a completely new character.
Because it's like I like Carly, I do. But you can tell that the entire thing was written before they recast. Because everything about her makes so much more sense for Michaela.
Right.
Except for like a couple scenes thrown in to be like, haha, remember your ex-girlfriend? But like working at a car place, that's such a Michaela-ass job to have.
I know.
The wedding moment at the end.
Yeah.
Not actually wedding, but you know what I mean? Like, that's such a conclusion of a 3-arc romance thing to have.
Exactly. The last movie, they couldn't say love to each other. This one, they do it, and they're trying to get married.
Yeah.
But, you know.
It's rough.
It sucks. I feel bad for Megan Fox.
It's also a really weird good luck charm to give somebody.
Bunny.
Yeah. Well, not the fact that she gave him a bunny. Mm-hmm. It's weird that she gave him a giant bunny. Because I feel like when I think of a good luck charm, it's like I carry it with me. Is he supposed to just be lugging this bunny around, like got strapped to his back?
Yes, exactly. God.
Where's the fucking straps then, Carly?
I don't know.
Also, can you just decide something is lucky? I know I'm asking a lot of nitpicky questions right now. I don't mean that these are criticisms of the movie, but I want to make fun of. Random. I just want to make fun of things right now.
That's fine.
Can you decide something's lucky? Like if I buy you like if I buy you a Optimus Prime action figure and I was just like, this is your lucky action figure, Chloe. Does that mean it's lucky? I feel like luck is earned. Luck is something where like you have it around and good things seem to keep happening and you're like, oh, this is my lucky thing. It's
like if I carried around this Transformers key ring and good things always happen to me when I had it, I'm like, this is my lucky key ring.
Is that what happens?
I don't know. I haven't. I've just found it recently and I haven't put it on.
And good things usually don't happen to you anyway.
It's true.
Yeah.
So, not very lucky. It's fine. Oh my gosh. Anyways, back to Sam and Carly. They met when he got a presidential medal for saving the world. And after Megan Fox dumped him, so that's cool. But he kept her dog, so like, okay. Very strange.
I'm surprised they didn't just kill her off.
I know.
I feel like it would have made more sense.
Like, oh, she dumped you after you guys were trying to say love to each other the last movie?
Yeah.
That doesn't seem right.
And
so
also,
why does he get to keep her dog? What?
And I feel like there's also a lot of things you could do with it for the narrative of this movie. Like, oh, Sam is less involved in the Autobots because like maybe Michaela died in the process of some Transformer related thing. And he was just like, I'm out.
Yeah. And like he can be overly protective of Carly because like he doesn't want her to die too.
Or he's like struggling to find a job, not because like it's weird that people keep. I realize we're getting to the job one right now. It's weird that his family keeps complaining to him about not finding a job when like A, he has a hero medal, so it's not like he's a slacker. Yeah. B, he's clearly looking for them. It's not like he's just like lounging around not trying to get one. Mm-hmm. And C, this movie was written when the recession was at its peak. And even if they were assuming like, hey, this movie comes out 2 years after that, things will be a little bit better. Like you're still recovering from the recession. Jobs aren't like plentiful.
No. Also, they said he's like, what, 3 months out of college? It's still tough to
he's
find
3
a
months
job
out of college.
right out of
That's
college.
not that far out. Like I know many very successful people who are friends of mine that, I mean, I don't mean like super successful, like, but they got assistance jobs after like 3 or 4 months out of college and like they're doing very well as assistants now. And it's like, dude, it takes a few months sometimes. It happens. I thought it was going to be like a year.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope. 3 months.
Also.
Yeah.
Just going off all of that.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot what I was trying to say. But yeah, I just feel like it makes sense of like she had died and he was like traumatized or in mourning and he'd kind of like let himself slack off from work or something.
Right.
I'm not saying that's what they should have done. I would have kept Michaela. I probably wouldn't give him like a lazy characteristic. I feel like there's better stories to be told with him. But still, if you want people to be complaining about him not finding a job, I feel like that's an easy way to make it make sense.
Yeah. But
I'm sorry, there's gonna be a lot of me nitpicking things in this.
That's fine. That's fine. I've got so many details here. I had to stop myself.
Fantastic.
Good. Yeah. So as we said, he's having issues finding a job despite saving the world twice. And he's a little upset he doesn't get to work with the Autobots. Honestly, I would be too.
Yeah. It's weird that he's a hero medal recipient and like not getting jobs from that. But
yeah, you would think jobs would be falling at his feet. Yeah. Like, oh my God, Lewis hired you. He
keeps being like, oh man, like I saved the world twice and no one knows. I'm like, you have a medal.
You have a
they
medal.
Must know something. Like, even if you can't tell them the specifics, if you put on your resume, hero medal recipient, honored by Obama, like, also you went to an Ivy League school. I'm so confused.
Ivy League school, government paid for that. He's got a degree. He's got a hero medal. The only place that doesn't make sense to hire him is the place run by Republicans because like, oh, we don't like Obama.
Yeah, I was like, okay, that's funny. Sure.
Yeah. But okay. Anyways.
It was funny when his mom showed up though and insulted his car. That was fun. I enjoyed that.
It's like if Bumblebee was a sad piece of shit.
Sad piece of shit, yeah.
So good. Oh my god. Speaking of which, the Autobots are out there solving human problems and fighting their wars and going out to Chernobyl and
that's not
follow leads on Energon sources. I know. They left Cybertron to escape their war, not to fight ours. Like, okay, sure.
What's the state of Cybertron, Chloe? Like, is Cybertron just destroyed? Like, is there no one on it anymore? Are there still people there? Or not people, but like Cybertronians?
Yeah, it's very scarce. I'm assuming based on the other things that I've read or watched. Okay. It's pretty much desolate. It's been ravaged by war for millions of years. Okay. So most people are dead or they've left.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So lo and behold, they find a part from that long lost Autobot ship and have to fight off Shockwave and his worm buddy. I feel like Shockwave has the upper hand there, but he just kind of fucks off. Okay. But yes, let's ignore this and get a very important job interview montage with Sam.
Wait, can I actually go back to something 1 second?
Yes.
Because the sound Optimus Prime makes when he crashes in is the funniest thing
audio
in this
mixing
entire
issues
movie.
Or something. The mouth noises are something, dude. I don't think they were supposed to be that loud.
I think I'm going to clip this out and just clip in just that little audio segment for listeners. Yeah. Because it's absurd.
It's something. One of my few problems I have with this movie is like, why?
I loved it. I was like, this is stupid as fuck, but it's so funny.
Stupid. Oh my god. Do Optimus dirty like that. So yes. Optimus makes the weird mouth noises. But fuck it. Job interview montage with Sam. He lands a mailroom job with John Malkovich after being convinced this is the job standing between him and a real job where he matters. Gotta love it.
Can I point something out to you now?
Yes.
About your connections with things?
Absolutely.
So Sam is a hero. Yeah. He has fought for humanity many times, and now he's getting stuck in a job that he doesn't feel is up to his past, and he feels confined in it and just wants to get back to being a hero. Does this sound like any other movies you love?
So the things I like, again, the Venn diagram of things I like is a circle. Everything.
For listeners, check out our Incredibles episode from a couple months ago.
Everything is the same. Oh my god. Wow. Thanks for pointing out things I never would have realized. Huh. Okay.
It also says a lot about how there's really nothing new under the sun. Every story is the same.
Yeah, pretty much. That too.
Yeah.
That's fine. Oh god. What a mess. Anyways. The Autobots, meanwhile, return back to the Nest base, which is disguised as a Department of Health and Services building, which is a building in Chicago I pass often, and I get stupidly excited every time that I do.
That's fun.
Because I'm me. Yes. Yeah. Like, we drive past or walk past, and I'm like, the Autobots are in there. I'm like, love that for me. So Optimus is pissed that the humans didn't tell them about this piece from the ship. But we're dumb. We didn't know either. They also...
Can I also ask another question? I have a lot of questions. Yes. I'm sorry. It's going to keep happening.
It's fine. I have all the answers.
So they get this piece from this ship. Mm-hmm. And this happens during Chernobyl. But they get the piece. And Optimus is like, this is from the ship of Sentinel Prime. Mm-hmm. It's an engine part.
How does he know that? Don't worry about it.
Are you saying there's a proprietary engine designed for specifically one ship to ever exist? I have so many questions.
Don't worry about it. It's fine. He just recognizes it. He's like, that's Sentinel's ship. It's an engine part, but I know.
There's not even like a logo on it. Like, if you'd had like a I don't know. Like a design on it that was like, oh, part number this. And he was like, that's I know that part number, which is also weird, but sure.
You know, it's fine. It's fine.
Anyway.
Fine. Anyways.
Moving
Did
on.
have a part number. It would make sense because Optimus used to be like a librarian dude, so it would have made sense. He would have.
Did he?
Before he was a Prime, yeah. He's like
I don't know anything about Transformers lore, apparently.
His name was Orion
How
Pax.
old is Optimus Prime?
Fucking millions of years, I think, dude.
Really?
Everyone is like super old, but they age differently. So
I always I assumed they had a longer lifespan than humans, but I assumed they like rusted or something. Like cars don't last that long.
They're aliens. It's fine.
Okay. I mean, like, I'm not doubting it. I'm not saying it's like unfeasible. That's totally something I accept. I just am surprised.
I don't know if it's millions or thousands. Some big number. They're old.
Interesting.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So we're dumb. We didn't know about it. We also didn't know to check the crash vault on the ship. And then Optimus tells them all it was the Ark, commanded by his predecessor, Sentinel Prime. And then Buzz Aldrin and the principal from iCarly stop by to say hi, and Autobots... that was weird. Autobots depart to go pick up Sentinel and the 5 pillars he was transporting.
Buzz Aldrin's like, it's an honor. And Optimus is like, no, the honor's mine. And I'm like, bitch, you come from another galaxy.
Yeah! Buzz Aldrin is nothing to you!
Like, sure, I get respecting someone who did an amazing feat, because, like, that was a risky... Like, a human being making the first trip to the moon is a very dangerous thing. They could have died very easily. But, like, you're a war hero.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe the honor's both of yours, at least.
It's fine. Oh, my gosh. So Sam goes to Carly's work to celebrate the fact that he has a job, and she works with Patrick McDreamy Dempsey. Wow. And boy, Sam does not like how close they are, and
it's very cringy how he talks about her, though. So, like,
yeah,
that entire scene, I was uncomfortable.
He's talking about like the curves on this car, and it just slowly pans up her, and I'm like, oh my god, please.
Yeah. Even that, though, like, that one makes me uncomfortable, but not makes me uncomfortable specifically in regards to Dylan. Like, yes, referring to the car as a woman is weird. But you're not he's not choosing to angle the camera that way. Yeah. But when he's like making weirdly close comments with Carly, I'm like, this is weird, dude. She's your employee.
Just a little tiny bit weird. Like, I don't know. He even gets her like a Mercedes, dude.
Car's to be fair, that's also a Decepticon that's going to try and kill her. So
we don't know that yet. Future spoilers.
That's true.
It's true. Sexy car though. Man.
It is a sexy ass car.
It is a very sexy car.
Of course it is, though, because these movies are car commercials.
That's absolutely true. All these cars are incredibly sexy. So at his work, Sam is recognized and cornered by Jerry. Shout out to Jerry.
Ken Jeong.
Corners him in the bathroom, gives him information about the moon landing before he's killed by Laserbeak, along with every other human collaborator at Megatron's order. Who, by the way, is just chilling in Africa with a cool cloak. So
yeah, Desert Megatron is a dope look.
It's a really cool look. He doesn't need to go off with like the cloak and all that, but he
does.
Thank you. Fashion. At least somebody cares about it here.
It's for fashion, man. It's fashion.
Exactly. Also probably to hide the fact that he's missing half his head, but that's fine.
It's true.
Yeah. So, Sam goes to warn the Autobots about this. Optimus brings Sentinel back to life with the Matrix of Leadership. And Francis McDormand tells Sam he's just a messenger and he really isn't that important.
Which again, true.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah.
But, it's fine. You don't need to save the world twice. It's fine. Well, he's not taking any of that shit and enlists the help of Simmons, formerly of Sector 7, to locate 2 surviving Russian astronauts. And from them, they find out the Decepticons had already raided the Ark long before the Autobots got there, took hundreds of space pillars, and left Sentinel with the 5, including the control one, since Optimus is the only one that could revive him. And they're like, oh fuck, we're playing right into their trap. Cool. They rush back to Nest on Illinois highways. Take this highway often. Great.
Can I ask another question, actually?
Yeah.
I'm just going to keep nitpicking. I'm sorry.
No, this is fine. This is great.
Okay. Do you actually mean that, though? Because, like, if this is a movie you love, I don't want to, like, nitpick something you care about.
It's fine. I can, I'm good.
I don't know how to read this.
No, it's good. No, please
Okay.
answer. Yes.
So Sentinel Prime wakes up.
Yes.
And they're like, and he talked about the control pillars the first time. And they're like, what are the control pillars? And he's like, it defies your known laws of physics. He just woke up. How does he know what their laws of physics accept and do not accept?
He's just like, these are primitive beings. Clearly they don't know. I don't know. I'm assuming teleportation is not a thing that most civilizations have apart from the Cybertronians.
I reject this explanation.
It's the only one I got.
Do better, screenwriters. Or screenwriter. Singular.
God. I'm defending them. Wow.
I know.
Yeah. So yeah, Illinois highway is being chased by Predator-looking Decepticons on the way. We reach the base, but then Sentinel reveals his true colors as working with the Decepticons to ensure the survival of Cybertron and destroys the base, kills Ironhide as he leaves with the pillars.
Rip.
Cool. Thank you very much, Sentinel. Appreciate it.
I like Ironhide.
I liked Ironhide too.
I have another question.
Yeah.
This one's actually like a genuine question because this isn't a nitpick. I mean, it kind of is because I wish they'd give us more of this explanation, but you might have the answer to this, and I'm curious if you do. Because I was wondering, how does the world view the Transformers at this point? Because sometimes it seems like they know about them, but also they kind of don't, and I'm confused.
Honestly, I'm not completely sure either.
Okay.
It flip-flops.
Because like during the Bill O'Reilly interview, he's like, oh, these so-called extraterrestrials. I'm like, I thought you knew about the aliens.
Right. You would.
And then if they know about the aliens, like what can Sam say? What can't Sam say? I have so many questions.
Yeah, honestly, I don't have an answer. Not
okay.
For this.
I thought maybe like expanded material had an answer or something. In Transformers 4, they seem to know about the Transformers, right? Like Mark Wahlberg's character knows what they are.
Because they completely just nuked Chicago, so it's probably more well known.
Yeah. But there was a big fight in Transformers 1 too.
It was just on a
kind of wrapped
scale.
up, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
Because the Transformers 2 guy was like, oh, this was kept secret.
Yeah, because it only kind of happened in like a couple blocks. They kept that under wraps.
Okay.
I think they kind of started coming to light once like you destroy one of the pyramids in Egypt.
Yeah, that'll do it.
And then of course just kind of completely destroying Chicago.
And John Turturro writes a book.
And he writes a book. So yeah. I guess it makes sense that Fox News would be skeptical. So, Yeah. Where did I leave off? Yeah, kills Ironhide, leaves with the pillars. Sentinel reconvenes with Megatron and activates the pillars, transporting hundreds of Decepticons and warships from the moon down to Earth. And Sam, after witnessing all of this destruction, runs home to find Carly because they had a fight earlier and they might be broken up. It was weird because he didn't want to go to the party with her because he wanted to be with the Autobots. She was like, "But the party, that important right now."
Yeah, it's strange. I mean, like I get that they give her the motivation of like, my brother died in war. I don't want you going back into it, and like I understand that argument, but I feel like that was dropped on us.
Just all of a sudden, it's like, here's a picture of her brother. He's dead.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Sure. So yeah, she's at the party with McDreamy, and he's revealed he's been working for the Decepticons too. Cool. The Mercedes actually Soundwave, extra
Everyone's
sexy.
A traitor.
Everyone's a traitor, and he gives Sam a Decepticon watch because he's like, you're the only one you're the only human Optimus trusts, so you have to go to him and find out what their plan of retaliation is. All right, perfect. Because meanwhile, Sentinel gave the humans an ultimatum to exile all the Autobots or basically face their wrath.
I have another question.
Mm-hmm.
So Sentinel.
Yes.
So he sides with Megatron before coming to Earth.
Mm-hmm.
But then why was the ship blown up?
I am assuming that their partnership was kind of on the down low and not all of the Decepticons
That's what I'm
knew.
assuming too.
Yeah.
But I wanted to ask, like, maybe there was like an explanation for that. My other question is like, what was his objective? Like, was he always just like, we're going to enslave the human race?
I know they planned on meeting up on Earth. And other things, Earth is like a really good place for like energon sources. But I guess since like later they talk about Earth has like a one unique resource and it's humans.
Yeah.
So
he's just like, was he fully on the plane? He's like, I'm going to meet up with Megatron, set up these pillars, bring Cybertron here, enslave humanity, and that's going to solve our war?
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much.
Does he think that if he sides with the Decepticons, then all Autobots will just be like, sure, that's not how people work?
No, I don't know why he would betray the Autobots like that and side with Megatron instead of like, hey, we've been fighting for millions of years. Let's meet truce.
Yeah.
With everybody involved instead of, hey, on the download, let me fuck out of here.
Yeah, it's like if you're already making a deal with the Decepticons, like, I guess if you think the Earth is, that your planet's completely fucked, but then why wouldn't you make the deal and be like, we're going to try and find a place to live together? I'm so confused by this plan.
They gotta be evil, super evil.
Okay. Continue your explanation.
Yes. So, Autobots are being kicked off of Earth. Sam says goodbye to his friends and finds out from Optimus that there is no plan. As their ship leaves Earth, it's intercepted and destroyed by Starscream, seemingly killing all the Autobots on board.
Can I also just point out how bad that spy watch is at being a spy watch? We kind of like skipped past that, but there's an entire scene where the spy watch is just like flapping around, and I'm like,
right?
Why?
Homie, chill out.
A, they just said that you see what Sam sees, so you don't need to be doing this. B, no one's gonna trust him for some reason. No, they do.
Needed the comedic thing, like, fling over here over this guy,
which was kind of fun. Like him flying over the table was kind of fun. I enjoyed that.
It was,
but it makes no sense.
No, it's fine. As long as it's fun, that's all that matters.
Here's the thing. I could accept the flying over the table one, exclusively that one, if it was like there was no one else around but Frances McDormand's character, and the watch was like, you need to be as close to her as possible. So like she's looking one way, he flips over, and she doesn't see it. And it's like, oh, haha, like it's pulling him closer to her. But around people's weird. The amount of times it just does this, or like grabs Ep's hand for no reason. I'm like, what's happening, man?
It's gotta remember,
you really suck at your job.
It's evil. Remember, Sam has it. Don't forget. We're not that stupid, but it's fine.
That is a Michael Bay classic of just like remind the audience a million times what's going on. Like I think there's one point where they're like, they say something about the bridge, maybe lower the bridge or something, and then you see the bridge lowering. And then you see someone else being like, the bridge is lowering. And I'm like, I get it.
It's like, we saw it. We saw the bridge is lowering. Thank you.
I know the rule of threes exists, but you don't need it to this extent.
No, you really don't. That's fine. It's fine. So yeah, Autobots seem to be dead. Watch falls off and Sam just kind of like steps on it, Cut back to McDreamy and Carly as they head to Chicago, and he says, we all work for the Decepticons now. They've been
what's weird?
What?
Sorry, I keep interrupting you.
No, it's fine.
It's weird that there's less immigration commentary in this movie.
Yeah.
Because everything about this movie is a refugee story. The Transformers are refugees to this country. They're being kicked out of the country. They're being used as a military force. Like, everything about this setup screams refugee metaphor.
They could have done something cool there, but...
But they never do that.
No.
Which is odd.
It is. It's a weird choice when all
even
the
like Sentinel
things
Prime,
are there.
when he shows up, he's like, "This is my evil plan," and I'm like, I mean, you could have just disagreed with the Autobots being turned into the government's lapdog and mistreated. Like, I'd understand you being upset about that.
Yeah.
Anyway, continue. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no. He says at one point, like, we were gods on our planet, and now what?
Also, what does that mean? Like, how?
I don't know. You're gods on this planet. Were you gods
because you were like the leader of the... Do you mean like you and Optimus specifically were gods because you were the leaders? Like, what? Are you saying all Transformers were gods? Were there other people on Cybertron?
It makes more sense for him to think that they're gods on this planet because they're so much like bigger and more powerful than humans.
If he's like, we could be gods here, not treated like lapdogs, he'd be like, okay, sure, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's basically Megatron's ethos.
Right.
Yeah.
Sure. Anyways. Oh, gosh. So Dylan and Carly bring up the control pillar through the elevator I constantly get trapped in, as you can see in my Instagram stories every time I go to work. And we learn that the Decepticons plan on using the pillars to bring Cybertron to Earth and use the humans as slaves to rebuild. Cool.
Is this Trump Tower that they're in right now?
No, this is the jeweler's building.
Because at one point they said Trump Tower, and I was like, gross.
They end up there. That's where Carly is
see.
being held when he rescues her. Yeah. It's right across the river, so it's like right there. Yeah. So Sentinel gives the order to seal off the city, and we get like the most bone-chilling scene as we see Chicago just blown up and everybody murdered.
Yeah, it gets dark.
It's really dark.
Why are they killing people if they want slaves?
You gotta make it dark. You gotta make it like dark and gritty. Be like, nobody in or out of the city. You try to leave. Fuck you.
I think there's a valid argument to be made of like, oh, they want to show humans force so that humans just kind of like bend their will.
Just kind of submit. That would make sense.
And I'm not saying everything needs to be explained to the audience. It doesn't. That's probably something I would have explained to the audience of like, we're going to wipe out Chicago and everyone else will be like subjugated. Yes.
Like, you try to turn against us, this is what's going to happen to you.
Yeah. A show of force.
Yeah. It's fine. They don't need to explain that. It's fine. Oh, gosh. So Sam enlists the help of Epps and his old nest buddies to go into the city to rescue Carly, but only upon arriving do they see the damage that's been done to the city. Iridescent by Lincoln Park plays. You see people running or staring off in the distance and wandering aimlessly and yelling at the crew to turn back. Really cool scene, honestly. But yeah. So Sam decides he still wants to go in, save Carly, but while he argues with Epps, the Decepticons show up and start to attack, and at the last minute, they're saved by the Autobots who survived the crash after all. Yay! And Optimus has had enough. He's ready to kill them all. He's done.
He gives a speech. It's kind of a weird speech. But then he says kill them all, and I'm like, yeah.
Yeah. Now we bring the hype. The squad's back together. It's time to enter Chicago and fuck shit up. Yes. So, Sam manages to rescue Carly, kills Laserbeak in the process, and then while making their way through the city towards my office building, where the pillars are set up, which is still really cool, crew is attacked by Shockwave's worm buddy, which Optimus manages to kill, but then he gets shot down by Shockwave and spends like the next half hour stuck in wires as the Wreckers try to cut him loose. We know Optimus is OP, but that's it's an annoying way to get him out of the fight for so long.
Yeah.
Sam and Carly get separate from the SEAL team at one point, and they're attacked by Starscream, and by sheer fucking luck, Sam kills him. So no head. Okay. Awesome. Thank you very much, Sam.
Sam also should not have survived that.
No!
Like, he got thrown around.
He should have many broken bones, at least.
I have a question for you.
I have answers. Okay, possibly.
So, in this scene, Sam gets thrown around by Starscream.
Yeah.
Are you jealous?
Yes. Next question.
That was the entire question.
What I wouldn't give to be thrown around by Starscream, yes. Mm-hmm. That is... Hold on. I need to find the exact wording I have, because it plays into one of my Letterboxd reviews for this movie.
Fantastic.
I reviewed it 4 times.
Amazing. While you're looking, I'm going to vamp out a couple of comments I have.
Will do.
At one point, Epps sees the worm thing, and he's like, why did the Decepticons get accept all the good shit? And I'm like, honestly, good question.
Good right? He's
fucking
right.
question. There's one point when Totoro's character, I don't remember his name, but Totoro's character starts giving McDormand, like, he's telling McDormand, like, what needs to be done. And I'm like, well, why? You're an author and she's the head of the intelligence agency. I think she knows where to put cameras.
Men.
Sexism.
Sexism, of course. Okay. So my review, one of the 4 reviews I have is, I root for the Autobots in these movies because the Decepticon designs are low-key ugly, but honestly, I'd still let Starscream slice me in half and rearrange my guts, all while calling me an insect.
Jesus. That was so much more graphic than I expected.
Yeah! That's I think that's my best one.
I feel like I'm learning things about you that I don't want to or need to know.
It's fine. You started this. You asked the question.
I did. That's true. I opened this gateway.
You opened this can of worms.
Moving on. What happens next?
Bumblebee and a few of the Autobots like Q and Ratchet are caught by the Decepticons, and Dylan's like, what are you keeping prisoners for? Soundwave laughs and is like, all right, no prisoners, only trophies. And then they proceed to execute Q, who is begging for his life. It's sad. Yeah. But Q is kind of ugly, so it's fine.
That's true.
They did Wheeljack so dirty. He's Wheeljack, but like, God. It's fine. Bumblebee's next, and Sam watches helplessly, and all hope seems lost until, of course, the little fuckers, Wheelie and Brains, tear apart a Decepticon ship, creating a distraction to allow for them to turn around and escape. Bumblebee killing Soundwave. No.
I don't like it either.
I don't like how it's resolved. No.
I have two reasons I don't like it.
Okay.
One, I feel like you're about to say is the resolution.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that I don't like the idea of like they hijack this thing and it crashes and it saves Bumblebee.
Yeah.
The way it's shot is terrible because it's too slow. There's too much time between Bumblebee about like it building to Bumblebee dying and then like they look up and the thing is happening up there and then it slowly falls. And in terms of like Bayhem brand destruction, sure, I get why he's shooting it that way. Mm-hmm. But in terms of like the shocking save of Bumblebee, it doesn't work. It should have been split second amount of noise, look up, crash.
Yeah. And be like, oh shit, all right, time to go.
Yeah. So I have that problem. Also, it's the second death fake out for Bumblebee essentially in this movie, as well as like the entire Autobots, because we thought they died on the ship. And I just think you can't keep doing that. You can't have multiple death fake outs. Like it doesn't work. It's hollow.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Anyway, continue.
Yeah. So they escape. Soundwave dies in the process. Cool. And then Optimus arrives and cuts down Decepticons left and right on Whacker. It's sick. It's a dope scene. The music's hype. Oh my God. It's really cool.
I had to listen to that scene so many times while I was making the hype video for this.
Nice. It's the hypest music in the soundtrack, I think. It's so good. So yeah, he kills Shockwave by ripping out his spine and using his cannon to shoot down the control pillar. Holy shit, Optimus. Okay. So Sentinel's pissed now, jumps down to confront Optimus, and commands all the Decepticons to focus their fire on him. Dylan overhears that they need to reactivate the pillar and then goes to do so, while Sam tries and fails to stop him. Pillar's reactivated and the process to bring Cybertron into our solar system continues. Honestly, that would fuck up so much gravity and shit. Oh my God.
I always kind of assumed it was like, and I realize the end of it kind of implies that I'm wrong, but I always kind of read it as like, it's not really here yet. Mm-hmm. Like we're seeing it as the portal's expanding. Yeah. And only when it's complete, the actual planet will be there. Which I feel like certain things in this movie contradict that. But it's the only thing that makes sense for it not just destroying the planet immediately.
Right.
Yeah.
It's bizarre. Pretty, though. I would love to see that in the sky. Oh, gosh. So, meanwhile, Carly goes off and finds Megatron, who's basking in the glory of seeing his home again. Calls him a bitch to his face. Same, honestly. He doesn't kill her immediately for whatever reason, because, yes, she's right. He'll always be Sentinel's bitch so long as he's calling the shots. Cool. Back at the control pillar, Sam gets back up, knocks Dylan into the pillar, electrocuting and killing him. Bumblebee and Ratchet arrive to shoot down, and in Bumblebee's case, tackle that pillar, destroying the bridge and causing Cybertron to implode on itself. Then as Sentinel and Optimus fight, Sentinel gains the upper hand, rips one of Optimus's arms off, and he's about to land the killing blow on a bleeding Optimus. Megatron shows up, fucks his shit up, turns to Optimus like, what would you be without me, Prime? I was like, time to find out. And uses his axe to rip his head off. Line. Oh my God, it's so cool, dude. Mm-hmm. I love this shit. Oh man. Yes.
Do you like that scene?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I do.
I hate it.
Okay.
I like it theoretically.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like how quickly Megatron arrives and then immediately dies.
Yeah.
Like I like the way he's killed. I like the line delivery of him being killed. Yeah. I need more Megatron fight.
Yeah. Just a bit. It's oh well, what are you gonna
Anyway,
do?
moving on.
Moving on.
I'm sorry to continue nitpicking your favorite movie.
It's okay.
I apologize.
It's fine. It's fine. I got it.
You can tell me to shut up and just like
No.
stop. Okay.
Oh, this is fine.
Okay.
Because it just gives me more reason to talk about the movie.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah. So Sentinel says he just wanted the survival of the race and hopes Optimus understands why he had to betray them. Optimus is like, you didn't betray me, you betrayed yourself, and uses Megatron's gun to finish the job.
Yeah. You know, if these weren't robots, the amount of just like visceral murder in this movie.
Yeah, it's pretty graphic.
It's intense.
Yeah. My goodness.
Like they have blood for Sentinel Prime that is red. They get as close to just like headshot in the camera as they can.
Yeah, pretty much. So the Decepticons are all defeated. The war is seemingly over. Carly and Sam reunite, and Bumblebee gives the hint that, hey, they should get married. While Optimus gives his final speech saying that Autobots will never forsake Earth. The end.
Yay.
Yay. That's Transformers.
So, again, I feel weird being like, so what did you think of the movie? Because it's a movie you've seen a million times. We've already kind of touched on that. But like, did you have any new feelings watching it? Do you have any old feelings from watching it that you just want to bring up right now?
God, I get there's moments where I just get so hype. It's great.
Yeah.
Especially just at the end when they're fucking up Chicago.
What are your
and all
overall
that.
feelings about it? Because like, I had a lot of criticisms, as you noticed, throughout the recap.
Uh-huh.
And I feel like you don't disagree with some of them. Like, you don't seem to be like, oh, no, like, you're wrong.
No, I understand.
it's
This
not
movie
like
is like totally flawed.
Yeah. It's not like when I talk about The Last Jedi, where it's like, yeah, there's some things where I can admit that I don't think it's the best decision. There are a lot of things where people are like, that was bad. And I was like, you're an idiot. But
Okay.
you seem to be aware of that. So, like, where do you think, what part of this movie do you think makes it a movie you love so much?
It's a great question, because honestly, I don't know. It could be the fact that it's set in Chicago, and I'm like, oh hey, that I live there, I work there.
Ferris Bueller's set in Chicago. You have plenty of options here. Home Alone is set in Chicago.
But the thing is, you take that aspect, but then you
Sure.
also take the aspect of Transformers. So you put
That's
one of my
true. That
favorite
is true.
properties, you put it in a city where I live, and like I walk almost every day.
Chloe, tell me your history as a Transformers fan. When did this love for Transformers start? What other Transformers things do you put your time into?
This probably answers all your questions. This movie is what I think set me on the path of just everything. It was like, oh, it's in Chicago. That's cool. And then I don't know what I started watching. I watched all the movies. I'm like, these are fun. But I'm like, whatever, 15, 13, I don't even know. And then an age. And then I found Transformers Prime, one of the best Transformers properties ever. And like from that, I started editing. I found one of my closest internet friends from being on YouTube all the time editing. I found Rooster Teeth.
Okay.
And then from Rooster Teeth, I found like Kind of Funny, and this is how I've met all of my friends. Basically.
That's really cute.
It's all because of this movie. Yeah.
I think I understand that. Not my favorite movie, but my favorite TV show is Doctor Who. And like, Doctor Who is such a fucking flawed TV show.
Yeah.
It's a bit different because it is a TV show, so there are episodes I can point to and be like, that's perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And there are other episodes I can point to and be like, that's the fucking worst.
Yeah.
But I think overall I have that same thing where I'm like, I don't love Doctor Who because I think Doctor Who is like the best show ever made. I love Doctor Who, or like perfectly put together. I love Doctor Who because like it fundamentally shaped who I am as a human being now. And I wouldn't be where I am if not for that show. So how can it not be one of my favorite things?
Right. I would not be here talking to you. I wouldn't like editing if they didn't film Transformers 3 in Chicago, basically.
Look at the impact Michael Bay's decisions have had on you.
Thank you, Michael Bay.
There you go.
Yeah.
So before we get into like our traditional questions.
Yeah.
Can you rank the Transformers movies?
I would love to.
Fantastic.
I finally feel vindicated. Okay, Kind of Funny also reviewed this the other day. They put this as their number one. I have been so used to just being like, okay, the first one is the best one. Because everyone's like, if you don't say the first one's the best one, like, okay, objectively, yes, it's the best. Not in my book. This is my all-time favorite movie ever. So yes, this is my number one, followed by the first one in 2007.
Sure.
And then from there, it's just kind of like, I don't. 5 is the last one. That's the worst one. Last Night.
Okay.
I cannot stand it. No. But then
Where's
Age
Bumblebee
of
fall in all this?
Oh, I guess I always forget about Bumblebee. I guess below Dark of the Moon. Because God, the scenes on Cybertron, I fucking love that movie. That part. But then after that, I don't know. I really don't care. It's so like centered on like Haley Steinfeld. Like I don't care.
I like Haley Steinfeld.
Yeah.
I know many people don't.
But okay, so Dark of the Moon, Bumblebee, I guess. Yeah, 2007, Transformers.
Mm-hmm.
And then Age of Extinction and Revenge of the Fallen can go either way for me. They're on the same level. And then Last Night.
Having not seen 5, I mostly agree with this. I think Bumblebee's my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Bumblebee as a movie, I love in a weird way more than I should.
Okay.
Because I think that's like I think it's a good movie. It's like an 8 out of 10, maybe a 7.5 out of 10.
It's like a good movie.
It's good. It's thoroughly good.
Yeah.
But I watched it and I saw like Bumblebee and that design of Bumblebee, and I saw like Optimus Prime and I saw Cybertron, and I just saw all these things. Mm-hmm. And when the movie ended, I was like, this is what the Transformers could have been this whole time.
It could have been that whole time.
I cried.
Dude, when I saw that in the theater and I had the biggest fucking dorkiest smile on my face seeing Cybertron and seeing all the G1 designs. Oh my God.
I
could have cried.
Optimus Prime's design in that is so good.
good.
Dylan O'Brien as the voice of Bumblebee.
Still bizarre, but yeah, it works.
Yeah, it worked. It made me spend the entire movie thinking Haley Steinfeld and Bumblebee wanted to fuck each other. When I say thinking it, I mean that was what was happening.
That was what was happening, yes.
I'm surprised you don't like that movie more, since it is literally a rom-com with a Transformer.
It is. The only thing is that Bumblebee is my son. So I'm like...
So you can't support your son finding love?
I mean, I can. It's like, I don't want to watch him.
Okay, that's fair. Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I'd put Bumblebee number 1.
Okay.
Also, when this movie ended, I was just like, man, I really want to watch Bumblebee now. I might watch Bumblebee this week. Bumblebee number 1. Transformers 1 number 2. This is number 3.
Mm-hmm.
Then I think Revenge of the Fallen is number 2 or number 4.
Okay.
And then Age of Extinction is number 5, only because I could not watch Age of Extinction. I tried and I just couldn't do it. Like at least with Revenge of the Fallen, as bad as it is, I had an investment in Sam and Michaela as characters.
Yeah.
Also, I haven't seen that movie since I was like 10.
Okay.
No, 14. An age.
I
haven't seen that movie in a long time.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my opinions are subject to change.
I'll have to. I say I have to, but I haven't seen Age of Extinction in a long time. So I feel like I have to rewatch it.
Do you? It's like 3 hours.
It is. Why
are these movies so long?
It's fine. I don't know. Also, I don't know why I have 3 or 2 copies of each movie. Really, God, like, I don't know.
Why do you have 2 copies of each movie?
I don't know how this happened. I honestly don't know. I think I bought like a Blu-ray pack once. So that explains why. I honestly, I don't know. It makes no sense to me.
For listeners, she's currently holding up her stack of Transformers movies 1 through 3, where she literally just has 2 of each one.
I do. So like, okay, the first one, identical, both Blu-rays. All right, So I don't know. Maybe I bought one separately, and that's why. I think I bought. So okay, the Blu-rays explains I probably bought like a 3-disc set. That explains those. But then I have another random 2-disc special edition of Revenge of the Fallen. I don't know why. I don't know.
Okay.
It's got a cool sleeve on it, though.
It does.
Yeah. Blu-ray of Dark of the Moon, but then just a normal DVD of Dark of the Moon.
Interesting.
I think this is probably, I just wanted to buy it. right away just to have.
Sure. And you were like, I'm poor.
I was like, I'm gonna get this movie. It's probably the first
There
one I
you
saw.
go.
I'm like, all right, cool, I'm gonna grab it. And then later, I'm assuming probably like on a Black Friday, I saw like the
That makes sense. Yeah.
the bottom wall.
That tracks.
Yeah. And then
Chloe-
I have Extinction.
I have another question for you.
Okay.
Also, do you read the comics? I hear the IDW comics are good.
Dude, they're really good, dude.
Interesting. Okay.
Real good.
I feel like Transformers and TMNT, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles,
Mhm.
both have, like, from what I've heard, really good comics, and I can't wrap my head around that. It's so weird that these are, like, really respected, essentially indie comics.
Mm-hmm. Like, More Than Meets the Eye, I think, ended. I think it's More Than Meets the Eye Lost Light, and I think they're rebooting it. It's so good.
Doesn't one kind of also, like, not, what's what I'm looking for? It explores, like, gender in Transformers because they're like, hey, they're robots. Why would their genders be the same?
Yeah, pretty much.
That's really cool.
Explore like gender and like sexuality because like most of them
That's
are
a really interesting way
like
to
male
do
presenting,
that.
so most of them are like gay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's like really cool.
Awesome.
Yeah,
I should check
they're
those out
great comics.
eventually.
You should.
It's cool that you are so passionate about Transformers. Like, I know I criticize this movie a lot, but like,
Yeah.
it's cool that you have something you're really passionate about and that it
Mhm.
has so much meaning to you.
Yeah. Like,
And there's so
yeah,
much content for you to like take in for it.
exactly. I'm a quirky robot girl, but like, I genuinely love this
Yeah.
piece of media.
And like, you know a lot about it.
I do. I could talk at length.
You might be the foremost authority on Transformers.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure there's Transformers nerds that are like, I love Transformers and the Michael Bay movies like aren't real. And I'm going to tell you the entire lore of the original 1980s Transformers. And like, I'm sure there's those who know more than you.
Yeah.
But in terms of people who just like know the lore
Mm-hmm.
of the entirety of it, you might be up there.
That's terrifying to me. But also really cool.
Yeah.
Nice. I'll take it.
So if someone was making another Transformers movie, maybe it's like a continuation of this version of like Optimus Prime story. Maybe it's like another spin-off a la Bumblebee. Maybe it's just a not remake, but like you know what I mean? Like they just say fuck
Like
those Transformers movies, those don't exist, we're making a new
just
one.
Reboot, yeah.
Yeah. Or like a sequel to Bumblebee where it's like, hey, those movies didn't happen.
Mhm.
Basically, if another Transformers movie is being made, what director would you want to do it?
I thought about this. I really want to say my favorite director. I want to say Denis. How do you say his last name?
Villeneuve?
Villeneuve.
I almost said that. I understand. I
would
get it.
love to see that. I would love to see him make a Transformers movie. Like, that'd be really cool.
Mhm.
He'd do a good job with it because he makes good movies, and all those movies I really love.
Yeah. I'm glad I almost said him and I decided not to. And I'm glad you said him because I think that's a very good option. And I think it'd be a very different style of Transformers movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that when we take like franchises that we've become accustomed to and we're like, hey, what if this is just nothing like you expect it to be?
Yeah, don't make it super, action-packed explosions everywhere. Make it a little slower. Focus on the Transformers, but then characters and shit. Whoa.
I've also thought about who I'd want to direct a Transformers movie.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Bumblebee, obviously, is my favorite of the bunch so far. And Bumblebee's director was, before Bumblebee, he did Kubo and the Two Strings. He was like a stop motion animation director.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of going that same route where I'm going after animation directors, but not because I think it should be an animated movie. I mean, I guess it could be if you wanted to, but like in my head, I'm thinking another live action.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to pitch a team of Byron Howard and Jared Bush.
Ooh.
Byron Howard was one of the directors of Zootopia.
Okay.
And Jared Bush was one of the writers of Zootopia.
Mm.
And I think that team, they have a sense of whimsy. They know how to have fun, but they also know how to create a world that is like very adapted to the characters and the logic of the world you're making. Like,
yeah.
Have you seen Onward?
I haven't actually.
It's fine.
Okay.
But
Right.
there's a very, very interesting difference between Onward and Zootopia.
Mm-hmm.
Because in Zootopia, when they're like, here's the world, and there's all these different things to work for different animals,
Yeah.
you're like, this is really imaginative.
Mm-hmm.
Onward should do that. It
Okay.
doesn't for some reason.
Mm.
Because in Onward, they're like, there's all these magical creatures. This guy's a centaur, but the world looks like ours. The centaur has to squeeze into a car that fits a human being sized person. And I'm like, this makes no sense.
Okay. Interesting.
So I think that the skills that went into Zootopia would be really interesting for Transformers, where it is more like, how would these things work? And what's the most imaginative way we can explore that?
Yeah.
I think that'd be cool.
That'd be really cool. You set them like Cybertron and see how that world works.
Yeah, you could do that.
Pretty dope.
Mm-hmm. A Cybertron prequel directed by these guys. I would totally watch that.
God. I'm dreaming of things I wish I had.
I know.
Only.
Did you ever play the video games?
Like, War for Cybertron, Fall of Cybertron. Yeah, I played them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They
Those
were
were
good, right? Like, I remember those being
Those are like,
celebrated when they came out.
oh yeah, they're like good.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Whack.
They were made by a studio in San Diego, like a 10-minute drive from where I am.
Nice.
So if you ever want to just break in and steal Cybertron stuff, you probably could.
I'm on my way.
Fantastic. I'll see you soon.
Awesome.
Actually, don't do that. We're in quarantine.
That means nobody's in the building.
Fuck, you're right.
Haha.
Just get in a car and you'll have to road trip it. You can't get on an airplane.
That's fine. I'll do it.
Okay. What's Michael Bay's, like, deal?
You know?
I have so many questions about him. Like, why is everyone a dick in his movies? Does he know people can be nice to each other?
No, because I think that nobody's been nice to him, is what I'm assuming.
Maybe.
I mean,
I feel like he has such frat boy energy, though, that people must have been nice to him at some point.
I don't know. I've heard that he's just like super mean on set. So like,
I've heard that too, yeah.
I guess that would, but like, why? You know?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's weird. We talked about this briefly in Armageddon, I'm assuming, right?
We do, yeah.
Like,
And
why?
also, like, what's his obsession with the military, but not with the government? Like, it's so weird. He loves the idea of the military, but he hates the government. And I feel like you can't have both.
I feel like that's a very like dude bro thing. It's like, shoot things, fuck the power though, you know?
And like, I understand the argument of like, I respect the soldiers, but not the institutions using them.
Yeah.
But it doesn't do it that way. Like, when they're using the Transformers as weapons of war, it's never critical of that.
Yeah.
So it's not like they're saying, hey, the government's always bad. They're just like, hey, when the government disagrees with what the Transformers want and what the soldiers want, they're the worst. And I'm like, that doesn't make sense. Military is an operation of the government. You can't just... If you hate the government, you have to kind of hate the military. You might not hate the soldiers themselves, but the military itself is an institution.
Thing. Yeah, I'm assuming in his mind, it's like, military one thing, they just follow the government. Government tells them, government bad. Military,
it's so weird.
Just completely separate, you know? I don't know. It is bizarre.
Also, I don't understand. Why doesn't he know how to emphasize things properly?
No, he does. You know, hey, lower the bridges. The bridge lowers. The bridges have been lowered.
But I don't even mean that. I mean, like...
They fly now.
Oh, God. That was triggering.
I'm sorry.
1 second, I just need to come down from this. No, but I mean, like, he does, like, slow... Michael Bay is very good at shooting things to look important, but he doesn't know when to not shoot things to look important.
Yeah.
So, like, there's a lot of shots in this movie and in Armageddon and, like, in all of his movies where he'll shoot it and it's not an important scene, but it's shot like an important scene. And I'm like, you can't do this. You need to calm down. This isn't a commercial.
Nope. All the time. Your eyes are glued to the screen because this is important.
Like, the thing that stood out to me the reason I noted this was like, there's the scene of the paratroopers jumping out of the plane, and like as they're jumping, it slows down and there's a ship crashing in front of them. I'm like, yeah, this looks cool, but this isn't a significant moment in this movie. You need to stop.
Nah, just go all in, you know?
He really does.
Yeah, really, really does.
So I've jumped past some of our traditional questions. I'm going to go back to those.
Okay.
Chloe, who is your favorite character in this movie? Normally I say favorite non-protagonist character, but if anyone says Sam, I will die in my seat.
Worrying.
Yeah.
Optimus Prime is my answer.
Okay, that's fair.
He's my favorite in the movies.
Actually, I have two questions.
Okay.
Who's your favorite robot and who's your favorite person character?
Okay.
If you need time, I can answer mine.
Yeah, you do that while I think through the human cast.
Okay. So my favorite human character, because I hadn't thought of a robot character because my choice was human, is Frances McDormand's character.
Okay.
I love her. She's great.
It's pretty cool.
I like her dynamic with John Turturro when he's not being creepy and sexist with her. Like when it's just him being like, "What's up?" and her being like, "I fucking hate you," and him being like, "Yeah, I know." That's fun.
Yeah.
It has bad moments where I'm deeply uncomfortable, but like there are moments where I'm like, this is pretty good writing.
Yeah.
If you stopped pushing it too far, I'd enjoy this.
Exactly. Yeah.
But I like her a lot. I think it says a lot that she's my favorite character in this movie, and she's like a small part.
Yeah.
But also she's an Oscar-winning actress, so like, you know.
She is. I also have a human answer, but also very small part. Alan Tudyk.
Yes, Alan Tudyk.
Yes.
He's greght in this.
He's so much. All of his lines are they're great. It's like, I have a girlfriend. Yeah, what's her name? India. Yes.
I'm not that person anymore. I went somewhere dark.
I'm so sorry. That was the old me. Which, okay, apparently is a callback to, I can't remember what, where he plays like a psycho dude like that, goes crazy. And he was like, oh, I just played the same character. This is his redemption story. Yeah.
God, I wonder who that character is now.
I'm trying to remember what movie or show that it was. Because, like, I think at the end of it, he just kind of, like, fucks off. And they're
it's not... Oh, my God. Is it Dollhouse?
It might be.
That would track with Dollhouse. Like, the way Dollhouse ends as a show does not... If I remember Dollhouse's ending correctly, which I'm pretty sure I do, you could not logically argue it exists in the same universe as Transformers. But if you just ignore the end of that show, then yeah, that feels like a Dollhouse character. Because in Dollhouse, he's like super evil, and if I remember correctly, he like has a redemption.
Okay.
It's definitely not Firefly.
It definitely wasn't Firefly. I would have remembered if it was Firefly.
Also, because just like, that's not Wash's character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could be. Like if he played like with like an accent, just like, wild.
The Dollhouse character, I don't think had an accent.
Maybe it was.
Are you looking through his IMDb?
I am. I'm trying to figure this out.
Yeah. My favorite robot is Bumblebee. I love Bumblebee. He's cute. I wanted a yellow Chevy Camaro when I was a kid.
Dude.
Like Optimus Prime is great, but I almost feel like Optimus Prime transcends character. He feels like a presence more than a character to me, which isn't a complaint. Like he's great.
Oh yeah. Okay. In 2011, Alan Tudyk told Empire magazine that his character from 28 Days was the same character he later played in the movie Transformers.
Huh. I've not seen that movie.
Yeah.
Interesting. So, I need to watch that now.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's fun.
That's fun.
We love that.
Yeah.
Chloe, what are your 3 favorite scenes?
Pull up my list. Number 1, the there is no plan scene. Autobots are leaving. Sam says goodbye.
Yeah. That's one of mine too. That one's rough.
It's oh man, the music that plays, it gets me. It's so much fun. Not fun, but it's good. I love it.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. Like, I kind of wish that scene hit me a bit more emotionally, just because I feel like the build up to it could have been better. But the scene itself was really good, and like seeing Sam struggle with losing them was hard, and then seeing them get blown up is hard, and it's just like, that's a good scene.
And I know in Starscream there he speaks Cybertronian before he blows them up. I'm like, I don't like you in this moment, but I also do like you. It's good. Great shit.
What's your second scene?
The Optimus saying time to find out before he rips Megatron's head off. Dope.
Sure.
It's dope. What would you be without me, Prime? Time to find out. Is that not like the fucking coolest thing?
It is very cool. Like, I know I complain about that scene because I do have issues with it, but like that moment specifically is sick.
Yes.
If they'd had like a big fight leading up to that and then Optimus did that, I'd have been very into it.
Would have been, yeah. I think it's that exchange right there is my favorite.
I respect it. I love you touched on it, but like I love the moment when Optimus gets untangled and flies in, and does like the cutting through everything and
Mhm.
slicing down. It's great.
It is. It's real good. And then my third is Autobots about to be executed in front of my old office building. Soundwave being like, no prisoners, only trophies. They're begging for their lives and they just like fucking murder Q. Oh my god. Fucked up, but I love it. It's between this or the destruction of Chicago, so it's like, you know.
Just like the entirety of the destruction of Chicago.
But that first
Just like,
scene.
yes, let's let my home burn.
Yes. I don't know. It's just, it like gives me chills, especially the part where like Carly's like, oh, I guess they didn't tell about you this part. Yeah. It's also a really cool scene.
It is.
But
my last scene is a cheat. I said any scene with Frances McDormand where John Turturro isn't being creepy.
Okay.
Yeah. Just any scene with her. I couldn't narrow it down. I was just like, I enjoy your presence immensely. I get it. She's great.
Yeah.
It's an interesting thing with Michael Bay.
Okay.
Because Michael Bay, I feel like, wants to be somebody he isn't, but also knows he isn't that. So he tries to address it without having to change who he is, if that makes sense. So like when he made Pearl Harbor, there was an interview where they're like, oh yeah, Michael wanted to shoot it like classic romance. Like he really wanted to move away from the Bayhem of it all. And by noon of the first shooting day, we were back to Bayhem. Like he'd thrown that all out the window. Because Michael Bay just got to a point where he's like, this isn't my skill set. This isn't what I'm good at. Yeah. I think it was the cinematographer being interviewed or someone being interviewed that worked on the set. And they were like, watching Michael Bay try and direct that kind of movie in that kind of style was like watching I forget the exact metaphor they used. So basically they were saying like, it was like he was limping. Like he didn't have the ability to be what he's good at. And I think Michael Bay wants to be something else. Like he worked with David Fincher and he idolized David Fincher. And that's such a dichotomy. But also, if you look at the people he casts art house people. He doesn't cast like tradition. Like like Josh Duhamel and Tyrese Gibson, and sure. But also like John, like he's cast almost all of the Coen brothers, like major players. The actors that the Coen brothers go to all the time, Michael Bay's cast almost all of them in his movies. John Turturro, Frances McDormand. I can't think of other ones right now, but he's gone after almost all of them. Yeah. And it's like he wants to be an art house director, but knows he isn't. It's interesting. But also like he has this weird respect for like the commercialism of his films. Like his movies, especially the Transformers movies, are such product placement movies, and he's okay with that. So it's like, I don't know. It's like he wants to squeeze in art house where he can, even though he doesn't want to be art house. I don't get it. I'm fascinated, but I don't get it, Chloe. Yeah, he's a very interesting human. He's so weird. Weird takes on I just want to like sit down with him for a day where I convince him to just be open and honest with me and I ask him a million questions because I'm fascinated. It would be pretty cool. God, we need answers for these things. Yeah, fucking Anthony Hopkins in Transformers 5. Yeah. He had Stanley Tucci in 4. Yeah. Like he goes for such art house actors. I'm so confused. It's so weird. Do you have any other thoughts before we move on? I just love this movie. I'm so glad I get to talk about it. I'm glad you do too. This is a lot of fun. This is great. It's fun seeing you enjoy this so much. Yeah. Like for as much as we can like nitpick and complain and like criticize a film, like at the end of the day, it is entertainment. And if it's able to impact someone and make them feel good and happy, like that's a good thing. Yeah. And it's worthy of appreciation. Thank you, Michael Bay. I am one of the few people that enjoys this. So thank you. So before we move on to some of our games, as always, a couple Bay facts. Bay was convinced to make this movie in 3D after talking to James Cameron, despite initially being hesitant. The process of doing that, though, required Michael Bay to make a more portable 3D camera than there was in existence at the time, because he was like, I can't work with a camera this big. Yeah. It's not my style. So he had to spend time literally inventing a smaller, like, I'm not saying he did it himself, but like he pushed a team that he was involved with to make a smaller 3D camera, which is cool. He still had to convert to 3D for half of the films, and that was because of like there were CGI scenes that just needed to be converted to 3D, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And there were some technical flaws of some of the 3D shoots where it's like we have to just use one and then like force 3D on it.
Yeah.
And then also there are some scenes he just shot on 35 millimeter film for some reason.
Okay.
I don't understand why, but
sure.
He did it.
Yeah.
As we've talked about already, Michaela Baines was originally still going to be a lead, played by Megan Fox, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And then Dempsey's character was going to be her boss, but she was fired after comparing the work ethic on set of Michael Bay. Like, she compared Michael Bay to Hitler in terms of like the work ethic he puts on the set. Fox's team says she quit, though. And Michael Bay says Steven Spielberg, the producer, was the one that fired her, even though Steven Spielberg says he wasn't the one that fired her. So a mystery. Maybe one day you'll solve.
Let's hope.
Write a book, Chloe. The true tales of Transformers: Dark of the Moon.
Oh, man.
An investigative piece.
Would love to. If I got to talk to Megan Fox, I would love that.
I want to watch Jennifer's Body.
Yes.
I've heard it's good.
I heard that too.
Yeah, I need to check it out. This movie is based on a book.
Okay.
Kind of.
Okay.
This movie is based on Transformers: Ghosts of Yesterday, a novel which was written as a prequel to the first film. I don't know how that works. Maybe the book was just like the story of Sentinel Prime trying to escape, and they adapted that into like a continued story. But it's based on that. It's a book that exists.
I am looking it up right now.
Go for it.
Huh.
That's right. I learned Transformers things even you didn't know. The power of Wikipedia.
Truly incredible.
The effects for this movie were provided by Industrial Light and Magic and Digital Domain. Animating the Driller took 122 render hours per frame using the entire render farm.
My God.
Yeah.
He's a big boy.
He's a big, big boy. Sentinel Prime's features were based on Sean Connery.
Huh.
And after Leonard Nimoy was cast, they incorporated some of his physical qualities into the character.
Okay.
The movie was released June 2011. It was the first year when 30 films grossed over $1 billion. It has a 35% on Rotten Tomatoes, which I think makes it the lowest rated movie we've talked about so far.
Probably.
Yeah. It is also one of the highest grossing movies we talked about so far, though, so like balances out.
Yeah, exactly.
Some notable comments on this movie. Charlie Jane Anders of IO9 explored how the rapid shift of tone is Bay's ideal movie, which is interesting because this movie does shift tones constantly, and she's just like, that's Bay. Like, that's how he wants to view cinema, just tonal whiplash at all times.
Okay, sure.
And A.O. Scott for New York Times wrote, I can't decide if this movie is so spectacularly, breathtakingly dumb as to induce stupidity in anyone who watches, or so brutally brilliant that it disarms all reason. What's the difference?
Oh my God.
To be clear, his review was positive.
Okay.
Like, I opened the article just to be sure. He wrote that he liked the movie.
Interesting.
Yeah. The movie made $1.124 billion on a $195 million budget.
Nice.
It was the second highest grossing movie of the year behind Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2, which makes sense. I don't know how you could possibly beat that movie without being like Endgame.
Yeah.
It's the fourth highest grossing movie of all time. Upon release, it is the 27th highest grossing movie now.
Nice.
Yeah. Did you look up the book?
I did, and it sounds really cool. Like, Starscream is like a pretty big player in this. I'm gonna go buy this book now, I think.
I'm glad I could provide you more Transformers lore for your pleasure.
Yes, I will take any and all Transformers things. Ah, okay, this is great.
Especially Starscream.
Yes! This is the best thing you could have given me. Thank you.
You're welcome. Happy to help. Moving on to games, Chloe, we're gonna do trivia first.
Ooh, okay.
Okay. So this was not Leonard Nimoy's first time voicing a Transformer. In what movie do you think he also voiced a Transformer? Bonus points if you can guess which Transformer, but I'm not going to make you try and think of that because that'd be very hard.
Ooh. Really? Okay. What could you have possibly... You said one of the movies?
Mm-hmm. Not one of these movies.
So, okay, I'm going to assume it was... I'm going to guess the original 85 one?
You're correct.
Okay.
I probably should have opened it up to also TV shows, but that was my mistake.
That's
To
fine.
make it harder.
I wouldn't have guessed one of the shows.
Do you have any idea who it might have been in the original Transformers movie?
Oh, I'm trying to think of who was in it. You're gonna tell me, and I'm gonna be like, I knew it. But right now, shoot.
He voiced Galvatron.
Okay. That makes sense. I don't think I would have guessed Galvatron, but yes, okay.
Mm-hmm. The writer for this movie is Aaron Kruger. He does not have a ton of super high-rated movies on his resume of movies he's written. What movie do you think is his highest rated on Rotten Tomatoes? What score do you think it's at?
Oh, okay, so this is at a 30.
Because I'm not going to ask you like what movie it is, because how would you know that? But like, what do you think the score is?
All right, so this is 35, you said?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to guess his highest rating was like a 56.
Wow, you have no faith in this man.
No,
it's 71.
Okay.
With The Ring, although a lot of his movies are rated much lower than 71. So The Ring is his like one exception.
Gotcha. Okay.
It's also an adaptation of another movie that already existed. So like,
yeah.
How much writing are you really doing adapting one movie to another movie?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
He is one of the writers on the new Top Gun movie, though, Top Gun Maverick. So we'll see if that's either spells good news for him or doom for Top Gun.
That'll be interesting.
Yeah. This movie has a bunch of Star Trek references, if you noticed. How many?
Oh boy, there's probably like at least 25,000. I am not a
bonus points if you can name them.
I can name it. God, I am not a Star Trek nerd at all. So honestly, the only one I could really pick is the blatant one where they're watching Star Trek on TV, and he's like, "Hey, it's the one where Spock goes crazy," and it's like, foreshadowing. Sentinel goes crazy.
That is one of them. How many do you think there are? And I'll tell you the other ones. I almost said the other number.
I'm gonna guess there's like 5 total.
You were close. It's 4.
Ooh, okay.
So 2 of these would be very hard for you to get.
Mm-hmm.
One of the other ones is as obvious as them watching Star Trek.
What was the other one?
When Sam walks into the car place, he's like, it's like the Starship Enterprise in here.
You're right. Shit.
Yep.
Okay, yeah.
There's also a dialogue delivered by Sentinel Prime at the end where he says the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. And that is straight up Spock's line in Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan.
I knew that one too.
And
Damn it. Okay.
The 4th one is the hardest one to catch.
Okay.
When Bumblebee is saying goodbye to Sam, he calls Sam my friend, and that audio clip is Spock saying my friend when he dies.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Shit.
The writer's a big Star Trek fan.
I can tell. Okay.
Yeah.
Me?
Now.
Yes.
This brings us on to Nailed It with Chloe Naylor.
Ooh.
Chloe, normally I'm like, hey, here's the villain. Who's the hottest? But we're not talking about a movie with just villains. Now we're talking about a movie with robots.
Yeah.
Which means we're going way beyond this. Quick fire. I'm going to say a Transformer character's name and you're going to tell me how hot they are.
This is so much fun. Yes. Okay.
You can take as much time to answer as you want.
Okay.
Number 1. Sentinel Prime.
Okay. So he's older. Just maybe outside of my liking older.
I mean, they're all old, apparently.
Old, but he shows his age. He looks like an old man.
He presents old.
So, like, not super sexy. He does get sexy points for betraying everybody, though, because I always do like that.
Oh, God.
But physically, no.
Okay. Next up, we have Bumblebee.
He is like my son. I cannot bring myself to call him sexy in any way. It's my child.
Can you call him attractive? Do you think he's attractive?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
I was interested to see how it worked. If it was like a switch where it's like they're either sexy or they're a machine and I don't understand what you're talking about.
No, I mean I can recognize. I've been around enough other Transformers fans to be like, oh, I see what other people like.
People find him attractive. Yeah.
People find him attractive. Okay. He's cute. He's adorable. To me, he's just cute. Yeah.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Megatron.
See, Megatron, he's a bitch to me. I would also call him a bitch to his face.
He really is a little bitch.
He is a little bitch.
Is he a little bitch in all Transformers media, or is it just these movies?
No, he's a little more competent in other things.
Okay.
In these, he's just kind of like, I'm here, I killed Optimus, I'm gone.
He's pathetic constantly.
Yeah. It's bad when, like, even Starscream calls you a coward. Like, yeah, that's how you know.
Isn't that like Starscream's whole thing is being a coward?
Yeah, exactly.
Not to insult your mans, but
yes, he's the coward. So like, imagine calling Megatron a coward from Starscream. Yeah, so Megatron, he's not very sexy to me, to be honest.
Optimus Prime.
My father can't. I'm sorry, no.
I understand. I remember one time I sent you a photo of like an evil Transformer that looked like Optimus Prime, but was in like much more evil color scheme, and you saw that problem. And I find that very funny.
I see other people be like, wow, I don't want to get railed by Optimus Prime. Like, don't talk about my dad like that.
I love when people, because they know you're a Transformers person and like into robots, they're like, you're right, Chloe, Optimus Prime is hot. And I'm just in the corner and I'm like, you have no idea what you've said to her.
No, you said the wrong Transformer to me. That's exactly. I have a specific meme that's like, well, first of all, Optimus Prime is my father. So write that down. I have that on deck because constantly people are like, hey, Optimus is sexy, right? Like, no, shut up. Very passionate about this.
I see that. Soundwave.
Yes. Oh my god, are you kidding me? I already called the car sexy. Add the fact that it's Soundwave on top of it. Soundwave is already sexy. Yes. Incredibly sexy.
They gave him a sexy ass car to be too.
Yeah, they really did. He always has a cool voice. Soundwave he's usually always sexy.
Shockwave.
Yes. That was my answer for who the hottest robot is in the Kind of Funny review. Dude, fucking thick as fuck.
I get it. I see it.
He's hot. Yes.
I like Shockwave's classic design more than his design in this.
I kind of do too, but it's still similar enough. But it's one of the sexier Decepticon designs in the movies.
He's got that whole like really evil feeling design to him. And you have a look on your face right now that is slightly terrible. The speed with which your face just turned into like visible arousal.
Oh God! Listen,
was impressive but uncomfortable.
That's terrifying. Okay, listen. I already like this dark, scary, spiky like fucking monsters and robots, so he fits the bill.
He does. He really does. And finally, Starscream.
Oh my god, I wish he was sexier in these movies because he is my all-time like favorite Decepticon. But I can't. He
looks really weird in these movies.
He looks weird. I don't know why they made him a Dorito.
I remember really liking the look of Starscream in like other things. And when these movies came out, I saw Starscream and I was like, oh, I don't care about you in this.
It's so disappointing because I'm like, I still love you because I love Starscream so much, but
right.
Why'd you make him so ugly?
Do you like the plane Transformers in Bumblebee?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Does it give you Starscream feels?
Yeah.
You're like, this is who my man could have been.
For the longest time, the trailer dropped. I'm like, oh my god, that's Starscream. So it looked almost identical to his G1 design. No, it's Blitzwing, but he's still sexy. Seekers are always sexy to me. Seekers being
the
always
things you learn.
Seekers are the flying Transformers. So okay.
I gathered.
Yeah.
Was the Transformer that was like a helicopter hot then?
Blackout? Sure.
Okay. I wasn't sure if like helicopter was different from plane in your boat.
It is different, but like, yeah. Well, I say that, and Whirl is also one of my all-time favorite Transformers. He's a helicopter.
Okay.
But he's an Autobot.
So you just think Blackout's like, hey.
He's all right.
Sorry, Blackout. You could do better.
You could do better. He's not Whirl. He doesn't have Whirl's personality, so.
There you go.
Yeah.
Chloe, this brings us to executive action.
Oh boy.
I've already teased you that I have a lot to say here.
I'm sure you have more than I do. Yeah.
What would you do if you were an executive and you were overlooking this movie and you're like, Michael, we need to change this thing. What would you change? God,
the problems start before this movie even begins. I have to like rework entire trilogy to get what I want. Because like this could have been.
But if you only had the control over this movie. Actually, let's answer both. If you were able to change these movies fundamentally, what would you do? But also, if you had to change this movie exclusively, what would you do?
Overall, you have to shift the focus from Sam and just the humans in general. You cannot, you have to focus on the Transformers in Transformers movies. They can't be the background characters. They can't just be human, whatever, weapons, right? That's what they're using them for.
They're basically just tools.
They're just tools. It's like, no. Oh, God, I would do a whole podcast on what we could revamp with the whole fucking movies, but see, just this one, I wish that we didn't lose Megan Fox.
Me too.
That's one thing that would, I think, fix a lot of other things. It's like, Rosie's great. She's a good actress. Just doesn't fit. She's like,
she really is a good actress. I'm really impressed by like.
Really, yeah.
On that note, like she hadn't been in a movie until this movie, and like I'm impressed by how well she did. I'm not saying she's like an award-winning actress in this movie, but again, it was her first movie. Yeah,
so she's pretty decent. And then she's in Man Vax. She's really good in that. So, but it should be Megan Fox because it does make sense.
Yep.
With the story, marriage thing at the end, working with cars.
Yeah, it all makes sense for Michaela.
Exactly. Fix that. Luckily, like Sam's parents took a back seat. They were just there for.
Yeah, I feel like they work in short spurts.
Yeah.
The first scene, I was like, I'm enjoying this. And then even by the second scene, I was like, okay, that's enough.
Yeah. And then you don't see him for a while until he looks for Carly and she's like, go after her. I was like, okay. But that's enough, parents. They did a good thing there. Man, I have so much fun with this movie. I don't think about what things I would change.
That's fair. I don't want to make you do that if you don't want to.
No, but basically like the Megan Fox and just quit focusing on the humans. I want to see the robots, please. But
let's talk about what I would change.
I want to hear what you have to say. Yes.
So, I've essentially begun reworking this entire script. I'm essentially approaching it like I've been hired to be a writer on this, where they've already given me a script and I have to work within the confines of what that is.
Okay.
I'm giving myself a fairly big leash with that, though, where like I can change a fair amount if I want to. So let's talk about Sam's motivations.
Ooh, okay.
Because what are they? What does Sam Witwicky want?
He wants to matter.
And yell a lot.
Yes.
And I don't like that. I don't like that Sam's objective is to matter. I could make that work, but A, that makes it too close for Incredibles, which is why I decided to change it. And B, I just think there's more interesting stories to be told here. So here's what I want. I want his desire not to be a hero. I want his desire to be the opposite of that.
Okay.
I want Sam Witwicky to have gotten the hero medal and have massive imposter syndrome because realistically, he didn't do shit in either movie.
He really didn't.
I want Sam Witwicky to be like, look, I wasn't a hero. I got this medal, sure, cool, whatever. But I happened to have the glasses the first time, and the second time I had the Allspark thing embedded in my head. Like, I am not, that was happenstance. I'm not this person. I don't want to be involved in this. I'm out. So I want this movie to start off with like Sam trying to live a normal life.
Okay.
And I want the thing that makes Sam special in this movie not to be that he like has this like thing in his head or he has the glasses or any of that. I want the thing that makes Sam special to be like, he's the only person who's the Autobots' actual friend. He's not the military. He's not working with them because it's his job. He's just their friend and he understands them in a way friends understand friends, which is a thing that like is a valuable skill for him to have, but the movies rarely ever touch on.
They should absolutely lean way more into that.
Yeah. So he has like this compassion for them and he has like a pretty good sense of things. I'm going to get to like my actual like reworking part, but basically that's what I want to change about Sam initially.
Okay.
I also want to alter Sentinel Prime a lot.
Okay.
So much.
From your questions and nitpicks earlier, I can see, yes.
Yeah. He's one of my biggest issues. I almost considered just saying get rid of Sentinel Prime, but then I was like, no, because there's some cool things you can do with him.
Yeah.
So I want this movie to lean more into like the refugee angle, because I think that's a logical feeling for Sentinel Prime to have, to change up the dynamic. I want him to not be after a gateway to Cybertron, because that doesn't make sense. If you fled Cybertron because it's destroyed, why are you trying to rebuild it? Like, I don't like, it's cool visually. I almost kept Cybertron. Yeah. If you really want to, sure, but I don't think it's necessary. Okay. So I'm getting rid of Cybertron. I am, however, making the opening on Cybertron longer, because I think you can do good setup there.
Absolutely.
So you're gonna get more Cybertron action sequences.
Good. Love it.
So I don't want him to be after the gateway. I want him to be after the matrix of leadership. And here's why. Because when Sentinel Prime came to Earth, he wasn't coming with a gateway for Cybertron. He was coming with a refugee ship.
Okay.
And the refugee ship is a mixture of Autobots and Decepticons, because he made a deal with Megatron that he wanted to get people off planet. But he knew if he got Autobots off, the Decepticons would shoot him down. So he made a deal with Megatron where he's like, I will take Decepticons without letting the Autobots know, and we will get both of them off the planet, and we'll be able to start up somewhere new, and we'll tell them that like something happened and we have to work together. Okay. So he takes refugees, but obviously they've crashed. They're like incapacitated. I haven't had that much time to think this through, so there's some logic flaws here still that I'll need to like adjust to. But essentially, he wants the matrix of leadership to reawaken these guys.
Okay.
Because like right now he kind of has this god complex, but Megatron already has that. So I'm like, why are you the same character? Kind of.
Yeah. Why have the same villain twice? Yeah.
Yeah. Especially when you could just have Megatron, because like Megatron's been around, and if this is the end of a trilogy, which it essentially is, like Megatron should be more significant.
Been like the central villain. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's also weird that that Sentinel Prime just fully endorses slavery. Like, I understand making accommodations for your people, but there's a big difference between like, hey, we need to survive, and like, hey, we need to be gods and take over. Like it just doesn't. It doesn't feel like he logically makes sense to someone who once was good. No,
which makes sense why Option's like, you betrayed yourself. Like, what the fuck are you? You were an Autobot and you want to... Okay, sure. Sure.
And then the final big change I want to make in terms of characters is Dylan Gold.
Okay.
Because I don't want Sam to dislike him. Okay. I want Sam to fucking love this man. I want Sam to think he's the coolest guy ever. I want them to get along. I want Dylan Gold and Sam to be the antithesis of each other.
Yeah.
I want Dylan to be this guy who wants to go down in history and be a hero, and Sam is this guy who's running away from the very concept of that.
Okay.
And I want Dylan to be this guy who's like, I don't want it to be that Dylan was... I kind of like that essentially Dylan and Sam both got thrown into this war by chance. I enjoy that. But I think thematically it works better if that wasn't what happened for Dylan. I think Dylan should be a character who's viewed as like he's viewed as he didn't make anything of himself. He's just his father's legacy. He's just running his father's business. And he made the deal with the Decepticons because he wanted to be something more.
You want to make him Rafe Adler?
Yes. Apparently.
Okay.
I forgot that was Rafe Adler's backstory, but yes.
Okay.
So I want that to be his thing. And that way you have Sam who wants to be something more because he doesn't want to just be the guy who keeps having things happen to him with the Transformers. And you have Dylan who wants to be something more because he doesn't want to be the guy who's just handed his father's company.
Yeah.
And also part of me likes the fact that Carly's kidnapped because it is an interesting motivation to like get things done. But like,
right.
It's also damsel in distress and that makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So I'm conflicted on if I want that. But I think what I would do, and I'm going to get to like more setup stuff in a second. Okay. But I think what I would do is have her be kidnapped still, but also have her kind of be functioning as a secondary protagonist when she is for a while, where like she is finding out things and like investigating, and like essentially by putting her in that position, they fucked up and they didn't put enough. They underestimated her and she's like doing stuff, and that's the whole thing.
Okay. Yeah.
So leading up to like, so this is how I want this movie to start.
Mhm.
War for Cybertron. War on Cybertron. All that stuff set up. Sentinel Prime leaves.
Yeah.
Whole thing. Now, cut to our characters. We start with Sam. He's at his job. He's trying to move on from his life as a hero. Dylan Gold is still Carly's boss, or Michaela's if things were perfect, but I'm just going to assume that I can't change that.
Okay.
Dylan Gold is still Carly's boss, and he keeps offering Sam a job. And Sam is like, no, I don't want your handouts. I don't want you to give me a job just because you like my girlfriend.
Mhm.
And so he keeps turning it down. Dylan might also know that Sam is like a hero of the war. And like, that's like, it might be more of a known thing where like, it's not like everyone knows who Sam is, but he's allowed to tell people.
Okay.
So it might also, that also might be why part of the reason Dylan's offering the job. He's like, no, I don't want the job because I'm a war hero. I don't want that.
Gotcha.
So that's part of it. He wants to prove himself.
Mhm.
Then we get to the Ken Jeong sequence. We're ignoring Chernobyl. It's unnecessary. We
Okay.
get to the Ken Jeong sequence. Still happens. Sam realizes there's something up with the moon. Takes it to the government. They investigate. This is when we get Sentinel Prime.
Okay.
Sentinel Prime was transporting refugees. The Autobots believed it was only Autobots, but Sentinel had made a deal to transport Decepticons as well in exchange for safe passage. Something went wrong and his ship crashed. Sam realizes that it doesn't make sense for Sentinel Prime to randomly end up near Earth unless he was following Megatron.
Right.
So he's like, hey, something's wrong. Because he's like really in tune with the Transformers, but the other people just kind of look at them as machines, so they don't think too much about like their motivations.
Yeah.
But they don't listen to him. So Sam decides he has to investigate himself. This is where you bring in John Turturro because he's like, I need funding. You have a lot of money. I don't. But
Mhm.
Sam's really the brains of this operation. I want to make Sam a better character if you can't tell.
I can
so
tell.
badly.
Thank you for this.
Sam decides he has to investigate. He cares too much about the Autobots or for them to be hurt or betrayed. Sam leaves Bumblebee with the Autobots at this point. Maybe he worries Bumblebee won't approve, or maybe Bumblebee just feels the need to be with Sam during Sentinel's first few days. I don't know. Point is, we're getting Bumblebee over there.
Okay.
I don't like that I'm doing this. I
Mhm.
wish Bumblebee stuck with him. However, this means that Carly decides she wants to go with Sam. And when Sam arrives to pick her up at her office to go, Sam is still driving his beat up old car. And it's like he has a backup car for when Bumblebee's off doing things. And Dylan sees the car, and instead of being a dick, he's like, ah, shit, your car sucks. Take one of mine. And Sam, again, is like, no, I don't want handouts. And he's like, think of it as like a work perk for Carly. She needs a car anyway. It's weird that she doesn't have a car and she works at a car company.
Okay.
So he gives her the car. This is the hidden Decepticon. Now, this car is the spy. Everything they're doing, they're taking this car with them.
Okay.
So the car is just like in on everything.
Yeah.
And it's this really good, like little under hidden spy thing.
Uh-huh.
That's as far as I got in terms of like the overall thing.
Okay.
But basically, stuff happens. We get to the final battle the way we had it. I haven't quite worked out how some of the different things happen, but basically what I think I want is Sentinel Prime is betrayed by Megatron.
Mhm.
Wait, I wrote it down here somewhere. So Sentinel Prime is betrayed by Megatron. He leaves him weak and dying, and then goes off to only awaken the Decepticons. So now the Decepticons are awake, the Autobots are not.
Okay.
And like the young Autobots are not. And Carly doesn't give Megatron the speech of like, oh, you're a bitch.
Mhm.
She gives Sentinel Prime the speech of like, is this really who you want to be?
Okay.
She convinces Sentinel Prime to use his last breath to save Optimus Prime, who's almost about to get killed by Megatron because they've been having a fight to the fucking death. This is their climactic battle, end of a three movie arc.
Yeah.
Sentinel Prime uses the last of his strength to stop Megatron, save Optimus, and then Optimus has the moment as Sentinel Prime lays there dying where he rips off Megatron's face. So you still get that moment.
Cool.
So that moment's cool. It's just built up to from more of a battle.
Yeah.
And then he goes to Sentinel Prime, who's like laying there dying, and they have like a reconciliation moment at the end. And then other things happen. I don't know. The movie ends, but we get more of like a refugee thing now because there's more Transformers here now. And we're establishing there's this like new universe where there's an entire refugee group of Transformers because this movie is a fucking refugee movie. Why are we acting like it isn't?
Mm-hmm.
This is how I would change Transformers 3 Dark of the Moon.
I really like those changes.
Thank you.
Honestly, I really do. Yeah. That'd be, oh man, I want to watch that movie.
Think about how good it would be if like Sentinel Prime actually had moral conflict and like Megatron betrayed him and Megatron was the big bad in the end and Sentinel Prime had to save Optimus and like
so much wasted potential.
I know. I know.
It upsets me if I think about it too much.
I know. Just don't.
I don't.
Enjoy your favorite movie.
I'm going
that's
to.
the way to do it.
Yeah. But that's a great movie there.
I kind of want to finish my write up of like the full rewrite.
Please do, because I'm really invested in that, honestly.
Yeah. I'll give you an entire treatment. You know what a treatment is?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
For audiences, a treatment is it's how do I explain a treatment without getting into the fact that there's no consistent definition of a treatment? Audiences, a treatment is a document that essentially outlines the beats of a story for a movie. It can be like 10 pages and it can be like 60 pages. And sometimes other terms are used for longer ones or shorter ones. And sometimes they aren't. It's very variable. But I'll write you like a short treatment and be like, this is what I would make this movie.
I love it. I'm excited. Okay.
Fantastic.
Cool.
Chloe, what are your closing thoughts on this movie?
God, I love this movie so much.
I know you do.
It's so much fun. I'm really upset I didn't get to see it in the theater. I hope man, can there be like a re-release someday?
Also in 3D.
Also in 3D. Yeah, when you were talking about that, I'm like, man, I wish I got to see that.
Yeah. Not to like make you feel worse, but based on the research that I did, I don't think I saw this movie in 3D. No, I did. I saw it with my mom in 3D. I saw it with my dad in 2D.
Okay.
Anyway, based on the research that I did, because I don't remember the 3D experience, I hear it was like very good 3D. It was one of the more like Avatar and Transformers really proving that 3D can work.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
It's so upsetting because I remember specifically being like out in the backyard and looking at movie times for the next day. I'm like, can we go see it? Can we go see it? Like, I was even convincing my mom. I was like, Patrick Dempsey's in it. And I know she was in love with Patrick Dempsey at the time. Like, he's in it.
My mom, too. I feel like every mom's in love with Patrick Dempsey.
100%. They were all watching Grey's Anatomy. It's,
Oh, my mom wasn't.
Oh, okay.
She loved him from, like, Maid of Honor or something. I don't know.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, either way. Nobody would go take me to see it, so I never got to see it.
I'm so sorry.
I only got to see the worst ones. And Bumblebee.
Bumblebee's good.
Bumblebee is good. But I saw Age of Extinction last night in theaters, so. Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah, not great.
Yeah. This movie is weird.
Yeah.
I don't dislike it. I feel like part of the reason I did the whole rewrite thing is because I think this movie has the bones narratively of a better movie.
There's something there. There's concepts there.
There's good characters. There's some fun dialogue. I think as much as I wish Michaela was here, I do think Carly's like a surprisingly good character for a character that's shoved in the third movie.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of things in this movie I like a lot. I wish it was better.
If only.
Yeah.
If only.
But I am glad you like it so much. And I think it really does emphasize that like art can be flawed and also be great. Like, there's that thing going around where people are like, oh, what's like the perfect movies, right?
Yeah.
And I chose my, like, what I consider my top 5 perfect. And there are movies that I think are genuinely like perfect films. But there are other movies where I'm like, these movies aren't perfect, but I almost think they are in their imperfection. Like, something about their flaws just kind
makes them perfect.
Endears me to them. Yeah.
I didn't partake in that trend because I know my taste in movies is, well, my perfect movies people would not agree with and be like, that's a garbage movie. Because I'd say like this, because like, this is my perfect movie. I wouldn't, but it's like, but.
No, I mean, like, I didn't say Last Jedi on my list because like there's flaws. I acknowledge it.
Yeah.
Do I care about them? No.
Yeah.
They're there. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. Fucking, if I had to, I could, sure. Like, Incredibles would probably be maybe on my list as like a perfect movie, but like.
Prisoners, maybe.
But like, I don't know. Like,
Arrival.
Yeah, so I guess like again, like my top movies on Letterboxd.
Yeah, which makes sense. It's like that's what your perfect movies are going to be until you hit one where you're like, I love it, but it's flawed.
Like,
yeah,
your perfect movies are going to be your favorite movies.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Minus maybe 1 or 2.
Yeah, but overall, yeah.
Chloe, if people like this movie, what do you recommend they watch?
Oh my God, Okay, don't watch the Mark Wahlberg Transformers. Watch the other ones. At least watch 2007. At least watch that. Man, if you want like the entire Battle of Chicago recreated, but like on a lesser scale, watch Avengers because it's the same thing. Blue light into the sky.
It really is. I had that thought.
The ships look like similar too.
Yeah.
Like what the fuck?
Like they came out within a year of each other, so obviously they weren't just ripping off Transformers.
Right. But there are so many similarities.
It's so similar. Yeah.
weird. I'm like, wow, this is.
There were a lot of moments where I was like, this feels like Avengers, but worse. Sorry.
It's fine. Yeah. But yeah, watch Avengers. Watch the first Transformers.
Mm-hmm. Watch Bumblebee. But outside of this movie, watch Pacific Rim.
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
My favorite giant robot movie.
Nice.
It's so good. I love it so much.
Nice.
It's beautiful.
The robots aren't sentient. I need you all to know that. They're not sentient, but they're still there.
They're not sentient.
No.
Yeah. Can robots that aren't sentient be sexy still?
I mean, I think Gypsy Danger's pretty sexy.
Yeah, Gypsy Danger's got a look.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah.
If, like, it had, like, feelings and a personality, whew, there we go. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But
if it was, like, sassy.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
It'd be pretty.
It's sarcastic, kind of a dick.
Yes, exactly. What I like in men.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Chloe, what's one cool thing you've done or seen this week?
God, what have I done?
I had the same question for myself when I asked it.
Oh my god. I finally finished Final Fantasy.
Nice. I still need to play Final Fantasy.
It's a long game, man.
I know, I've heard.
Yeah. What part are you at, chapter or whatever?
Remember the last time I talked to you and I was like, this is how far I am.
I'm trying to remember where you said.
The slums in the very beginning.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, so you gotta
See, I was gonna play it this weekend, but then I read Heroes of Olympus on Saturday. And I finished, I read Blood of Olympus, so I finished the Heroes of Olympus series on Saturday.
Nice.
And then on Sunday, I finally got the ability to alter my island in Animal Crossing.
Ooh.
And I was like, oh, I'll finally lay down the paths I actually want, not like the ugly paths that I made just to like be placeholders. And then I did that. And then I was like, maybe I'll go put this thing in. And then next thing I knew, it was the end of the day and I'd begun fully rebuilding my island. I
am not looking forward to my renovations on my island when I get that power. Oh God, there's so much.
I did not expect to feel so. The game just shifted. I didn't expect it, but there were like so many things in the game because I'd started to not put much attention to Animal Crossing just because like I'd filled out my house relatively well. I was like, I checked in the morning and at night. I earned some money, I'd see what was for sale, but it was just like a slow grind of like finding new items to buy. It wasn't anything that took a lot of my time. And then I got the ability to reconstruct my island and I was like, oh, I can build very elaborate things here now.
I'm looking forward to it, but I'm also like, I don't even know what I'm going to do. There's so much I want to do.
I'm building a restaurant.
Ooh, okay.
That overlooks the ocean.
Nice.
I have a little like park. Okay. And I'm going to move my house and build this entire like sanctuary by the water for the house. Because right now it's in the center of my island, but I'm going to just like put it in the corner and be like, this is my space. I'll stay away. Very nice. I'm expanding my orchard.
Nice. Yeah. Okay.
A lot of stuff.
Oh man, there are so many things. I don't really do much. Like I should probably put more time into it so I get to that point. But like right now I just buy turnips, sell turnips.
I was in the same boat.
Yeah.
Chloe, next week begins a new month.
Oh my God, my birthday month.
It is your birthday month. Now, we discussed changing this month up from our original plan.
Right.
I want to throw you two options for this. You can also just say I don't like either of those options and we can do a different one.
Okay.
I'm going to throw you two options. One is we could jump to foreign movies. Because there's a foreign movie I'd very much like for you to watch.
Okay.
I'm very excited to discuss it, but we don't have to get to that one right now. The other option is we could do our favorite movies of all time.
Right.
You like that option, don't you?
I do like that option. So, I mean,
You want to do that?
Yeah.
Let's fucking do it. Let's get to it. Okay. So
how many?
Since we talked about Transformers 3 this week, which is one of your favorite movies.
Which is one of my favorite movies.
Do you want to consider this like the beginning of that month then?
You can do that. Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
So then how about we say each of us gets two movies and this was your first?
Okay.
Cool.
Let me look at me.
So we'll start off with my movie choice next week. Chloe, we're watching Little Women.
All right, finally. All right, I finally have the motivation to watch it. Cool, I'm down. Yes.
I was just like waiting for you to say, let's do favorite movies. So I'm like, perfect. I'm going to make you watch the movie now.
All right, perfect. Now I always want to watch it. Now I finally have to. Okay, cool.
It's so good. I'm so excited.
Nice. Okay.
Awesome. So that is the wrap up of this episode. Guys, if you have enjoyed listening to us here and you want to hear our opinions other places on other things, doing other stuff, you can find us all over the landscapes, the internets. Chloe, where can they find you on the internet?
Oh man, you can find me on literally every social media platform. You can find me on Twitter. You can find me on Instagram. Find me on TikTok. I stream on Twitch. Everywhere I am Echo Chloe.
You can find me at Mr_BentoBox on Twitter, at Mr. BentoBox everywhere else, Instagram, TikTok, Letterboxd.
Letterboxd too.
I feel like I want to start game streaming, but I don't have my PC on hand right now. So eventually, when that happens, I'll start doing it.
Streamer, dude.
You know,
yeah.
it seems fun.
It is fun,
I guess.
Yeah.
We're trapped inside right now, and I'm just like, I guess there's nothing else.
What else are you gonna do? Yeah.
Maybe I'll like it.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Or maybe you won't. You'll find out. So yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
If you enjoyed this podcast, you can rate us and review us on iTunes. You can subscribe to us on whichever service you prefer: Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, what have you. Not what have you. Those are the 3 options. Stick with those. You can also support That Nerdy Site on thatnerdysite.com, where you can check out our other podcasts, not with me and Chloe on them, but with other people that work for That Nerdy Site doing things. And you can read things people write. If you want to check out my stuff, the link to everything I've written is on my Twitter, thatnerdysite.com/author/Ben J. Bellevue, I think. I don't know. You can find it on Twitter. You can also support That Nerdy Site on Patreon, patreon.com/thatnerdysite. Guys, this has been our discussion of one of Chloe's favorite movies ever.
Of all time, my guy. Yes.
Of all time. I'm so glad we got to do this.
I'm so happy.
This was fun. This was really fun.
It really was. Oh my God.
It's been great listening to all your thoughts and feelings and opinions of this movie and these movies and Transformers as a whole.
Mm-hmm. God, I love Transformers. Love them.
I know.
Yeah. I don't get to talk about them too often, but thank you for this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course. If you ever want to just like talk about, okay. So you know how Amazon is doing like the Twitch streaming thing soon?
Yes.
For movies? If you ever want to do just like a hangout and watch Transformers movies on Amazon, if they're available.
Oh man.
We can.
Oh man.
I'll just ask you questions as we watch them.
Man. Oh, you're speaking my language. That sounds so much fun.
I know.
Oh, gosh. Do that for my Zoom birthday party I'm gonna throw.
Perfect.
Yes.
Chloe, I'll talk to you later.
See you, Ben.
Bye.